Up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LUCK for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LUCK for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LUCK for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
Hi, I'm John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. If you or someone you know is battling cancer, long COVID, or an autoimmune condition, medical hydration therapy may help to reduce chronic symptoms like pain and fatigue, so you or your loved one can live a better life. Dr. Molly Fantasia and the healthcare team at Innovative Medical Associates have helped thousands of patients to improve their quality of life. They prescribe and deliver vitamins, minerals, and medications directly into the bloodstream where they can best impact your overall well-being.
We can bring a patient to a better quality of life and then a healthier approach to their entire condition.
Tune in to Health Watch Sundays at 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. to ask questions and learn more about the benefits of medical hydration therapy. Visit innovativemedicalassociates.com to schedule your free in-office consultation with Dr. Molly Fantasia today.
Are you tired of dealing with those old, inefficient windows in your house? Maybe it's time to go Guida. How about that drafty, beat-up-looking entry door you've painted over more times than you can count? Well, go Guida. Need added protection from the elements with a new storm door? Go Guida. And what about that sliding patio door or garage door you've been meaning to replace? Go Guida. Whatever your home improvement needs are, I suggest you go Guida with the great people at Guida Door and Window. To help get your project started, Guida is offering 20% off all windows and doors while allowing you to start your project with no money down and up to 3 full years to pay it off interest-free. That's right. Receive 20% instant savings with the luxury of paying off your project interest-free for up to 36 months. Restrictions apply, offers for a limited time, so what are you waiting for? It's time you finally go Guida. Call today, schedule a free in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Sherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. Free speech lives here. It's Kayal Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And away we go. Live on this Wednesday, May 3rd. It is indeed Kayal Company. Here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We are always live on the free Odyssey app and streaming live for your video viewing pleasure on YouTube as we head until 10 o'clock this morning. 855-839-1210, the phone number. Twitter and Instagram, the radio station at 1210 WPHT. I am at Nick Kayal, K-A-Y-A-L. Dawn Stenslin with the news. Greg Stalker, the chairman of the board. Anthony Dorenzo, Daniel Valdez, our associate producers, as we will be joined by the great Tony Bruno this morning, coming up at 9:20.
Hump day, hump day, hump day.
Here on this hump day. Dawn, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning. Doing great this Wednesday.
Gregory?
Yeah, buddy.
Halfway home?
Halfway home.
YouTube subscribers blowing up.
Yes, sir.
Comment sections blowing up.
Yep.
It's total chaos. It's like the southern border.
The Kayal Company community on YouTube is hot and heavy. They start their own show. I don't know if we take that as a compliment or an insult.
Do they start at 6 a.m. as well?
Is our compliment or is our content so boring that they just need to have their own conversation?
It could very well be, but the ratings would disagree.
Oh, that's true.
So you might have just started something there, a little branding. Kayal Company community.
Look at that.
In the comment section. Yeah. It's a tongue twister.
That's why I'm the brand manager.
That's correct. It's all about branding. We got a lot of good stuff to get to this morning. A Biden administration border admission. Also, people really, really fired up, and rightfully so, about this mortgage redistribution plan from the Biden administration.
Where you get punished for having good credit?
Yep. Being responsible never sucked more than it does to be a responsible person.
This is unbelievable.
Remarkable. And also, late night TV, the writers go on strike, which is interesting because half of their audience and a lot of their advertisers went on strike about 5 years ago. So the writers are finally caught up.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, we'll talk to the great Tony Bruno. So much to get to this morning. But before all of that, Dawn Stenslin with round number 1 of the Wednesday News.
Yes, and good morning. We are sponsored this morning by Hint Water. Another cool, cloudy day, still about 15 degrees below normal, what we should be this time of year. So we'll have the full forecast in just a moment. In the news this morning, Philadelphia police asking for the public's help, for your help, in locating a sexual assault suspect. This guy attacked a young woman early this morning. She had decided, because today is her garbage day, this is University City. We don't know if she is a Penn student, but she decided to take the garbage out early this morning, about 2 o'clock this morning. So she's taking the garbage out, 38th and Chestnut Street, thereabout, in the city's University section, and that's when police say the victim was assaulted by this guy, grabs her at knife point and assaults her. So they've put out they've got some good surveillance images of this guy. They're asking everybody, please look at these pictures. If you think you know who this is, they need to hear from you. The victim reportedly, there are sources speaking to 6ABC. I had seen that the 6ABC is reporting that she attends the University of Pennsylvania, that she indeed is a student who was, living in that off-campus apartment complex at Hamilton Court there when she was assaulted by this guy at knife point. So he's a tall guy, 6 feet plus tall, short, dark hair. He did have the hoodie and the whole thing on, but 20 to 30 years old. But I know that just sounds like a generic description, but if you look online, they are Special Victims Unit of Philadelphia speaking out, saying they want to get this guy. We also have in the news this morning the man accused of shooting and killing 5 of his neighbors, including a 3rd grader last week in Texas. We now have learned that he now has been arrested after that 4-day intense manhunt that ended last night by multiple agencies. It began in Cleveland, Texas on Saturday. So this guy, as we have told you, he has been deported multiple times and, a known criminal, drunk driving, that sort of thing, long list, deported over and over and over. And this tragic situation coming to a close now as he is in custody. The last time I know that it was in 2016.
Yep. That
was when he was deported. I think there was one more recent, but they couldn't find him.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the big take for sure.
Oh, right. So that's just a tragic situation.
Maybe we can get 87,000 ICE agents instead of 87,000 IRS agents.
That would help.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
So I know I'm starting out depressing, so I'm sorry. There is a bill to broaden protections for LGBTQ plus people that passed the Pennsylvania State House of Representatives yesterday, and they put that out there. It's the first to advance this far after years-long efforts by Democrats, though it faces, obviously, a tough fight in the Republican-controlled Senate. Why? Well, senators say there are already protections in Pennsylvania. It is illegal to discriminate against anyone in Pennsylvania. And so this one just says it's illegal to discriminate against LGBTQ plus in housing, workplaces, public services. Republicans have said this is another layer. You're creating more legislation that's duplicitous because we already have all of those protections. But that one, I'll just warn you, that's the latest battle in Harrisburg. As far as our Phillies, the good news is Bryce Harper returned to the lineup.
Hey.
Woo. That's the good news.
Woo. The bad news is, would he go 0 for 5?
Well, the bad news is couldn't get any hits. But he did return to, 160 days after undergoing surgery on his elbow, that so-called Tommy John surgery. So he's back.
Yeah, it's a slow ramp up. Slow ramp up.
Okay, give him a minute. Give the guy a minute.
Right.
All right.
It's still 50 degrees out, folks.
Thank you. It's early.
He has to warm into this, warm up into this.
Whatever.
As Charlie Manuel used to say, it's not hitting weather.
That's true. That's a good Charlie Manuel.
And a good day. Hey, this is a good week so far for our Sixers, and we're only on Wednesday morning. Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
He reached his bucket list, MVP.
About time.
First since one of my faves, Allen Iverson.
So much for those.
2003.
Yes, so much for those racist NBA voters that don't vote for black MVPs. Remember that story we talked about a few weeks ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yes, indeed.
So we got that going on, and obviously this evening, tonight, Boston is hosting Game 2, so hopefully we do a repeat of Game 1, and hopefully James Harden, another former MVP, shows us his stuff again tonight.
Exactly.
We are sponsored by Hint Water, delicious fruit-infused water, no sugar or diet sweeteners, more than 25 amazing flavors, including watermelon and pineapple. And stores are delivered from hintwater.com. T-Mobile Weather Center forecast, it's just a brisk, chilly, unusually colder week, 15 degrees below the normal temps for this. We should be in the 70s, which is all Nick Kayal has asked for since Monday morning.
I'm not asking for much, people. Not much. Just respectable May weather.
So tomorrow we're at 46 degrees, partly cloudy right now. We only go to 54. And at least tomorrow we'll see more sunny weather and a slow warm up that it's still not 70 until Sunday, 73 and sunny. But at least tomorrow 61, Friday 63, Saturday 68. Then finally we break into the 70s with sunshine. But it looks like after we get through today with some spotty showers, it looks like sunny skies ahead for the T-Mobile Weather Center forecast. This is Kayal Company News Live.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 6:11 here on this Wednesday morning. Let's get to a big week, big take.
The Big Take on Kayal Company.
All right, the big take this morning, the Biden administration's border admission. To say that it is the worst kept secret would be disrespectful to past secrets that were kept in awful fashion. The United States southern border has been a flat-out dereliction of duty by the Biden administration for over 2.5 years now. Kamala Harris, the once proclaimed border czar, has been completely MIA. Alejandro Mayorkas, the U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security, couldn't secure a local Baskin & Robbins, and he certainly refuses to classify our open border disgrace as a crisis. But that's okay, because every American with a functional brain that hasn't purposely blinded themselves with acid in the name of transableism can see it. We have a crisis, and it's because this administration just doesn't care to protect you from people who have no business being here illegally. On Friday night, Francisco Oropeza, 38 years old, who is a Mexican national, murdered 5 neighbors and was in the country again after being deported 4 other times. This completely preventable tragedy happened in Cleveland, Texas, where prior to yesterday, officials were offering up to a 6-figure reward for information that led to his capture. And he was apprehended late yesterday. Oropeza was shooting his AR-15 in his yard when a neighbor asked him to stop because her baby was sleeping. Oropeza didn't like that, as he responded by entering the home around 11:30 p.m. and allegedly killing 5 family members. The victims are identified as Sonia Guzman, Diana Alvarado, Jalissa Rivera, Jonathan Caceres, and Daniel Lasso. This man was deported in March 2009, September 2009, January 2012, and July 2016. I wonder who was the president during those years, and who was his vice president during those years. I'll let you Google it. Following this senseless and brutal execution, the binder took to the podium and had the audacity to say the following on Monday. Take a listen.
A 9-year-old child was murdered along with 4 others in yet another shocking, horrific act of gun violence in America, this time in Cleveland, Texas. 2 of the women killed were discovered on top of surviving children and appeared to be shielding them from gunfire. In all, 5 people were murdered by an individual armed with a powerful AR-15 style rifle.
Now, Karine Jean-Pierre does not mention the Texas man accused of murdering his 5 neighbors execution style in Texas over the weekend is an illegal immigrant who has been deported 5 times. School shooting? It's always the gun's fault, not mental health. Domestic disturbance? It's always the gun's fault, not the illegal immigrant's fault or our dereliction of duty at our southern border. It's always the gun's fault. It's a complete avoidance of acknowledging the root causes of these crimes in an effort to always blame the firearm. Now, yesterday around 10:15 a.m., the Biden administration finally woke up from their border coma, and here was some of the breaking news that you heard from Bill Hemmer on Fox News. Take a listen.
What a mess that is there. Fox News alert now. The Biden team now weighing whether or not to send 1,500 active duty U.S. troops to the southern border this just ahead of the lifting of Title 42 9 days from now. This according to senior U.S. officials speaking with Fox News. Team coverage in a moment. Geraldo Rivera's on deck with analysis. But first, Griff Jenkins live in Brownsville, Texas. Again today for the news. Griff, hello.
Hey, Bill, good morning. And that development is very significant. It's all hands on deck here at the border. But it's worth pointing out that what's under consideration at the Pentagon, as broken, that news broken by our colleague Jennifer Griffin, is that these active duty troops, 1,500 or so, would be under a transport or administrative non-law enforcement role. That would be different than how Texas Governor Greg Abbott is using the Texas National Guard and Air Guard under Operation Lone Star. Those National Guard troops are actually on the border. These troops under this active duty plan from the Pentagon would be administrative or transport only to free up Border Patrol agents. Meanwhile, we heard yesterday from the podium at the White House, spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre saying that illegal immigration is down 90%. Let me go to our drone in the sky right now and show you the images that completely contrast that. Nothing could be further from the truth that they are down 90%. You can see the line of migrants here, a majority of them Venezuelan. We have had them coming here in this sector alone in the last 24 hours, more than 2,800 migrants. That is why local officials and former Congresswoman Mayra Flores is so frustrated with Secretary Mayorkas.
Following that report, Jackie Heinrich, White House correspondent of Fox News, tweeted the following update. News from Jen Griffin and Liz Frieden. The Biden administration has now approved sending 1,500 active duty U.S. troops to the border. According to a senior U.S. official, the announcement will be at the top of the 2 p.m. Department of Defense briefing. I'm sure you'll hear that later in the show as we move along this morning. But it sure sounds like Greg Abbott, governor of Texas, has had a far better grasp of what this nation and his state is facing compared to the Biden administration. It took 5 brutal murders for this administration to send 1,500 troops to the border, and they may not even be doing all that they can or should do once they arrive. But I guess we can't ask for too much in one day. And how about the binder? It takes someone with zero self-respect to lie before the American public and spit in the face of reporters with a stone-cold lie regarding the immigration crisis in our nation. Headline, blatant lie. Experts call Karine Jean-Pierre out for comment, saying maybe the biggest lie from the White House podium so far. That in reference to her claiming that illegal immigration is down 90%. We know this administration will go down as one of the worst, if not the worst, public speaking group in American history, but they are also bold-faced liars who apparently are terrible in math as well. For the fiscal year ending 2022, there were 2,378,944 migrant encounters at the southern border. That is the most ever recorded in the United States of America. And for March 2023, we saw a 25% increase. And for the year, about a third of the way through, we have seen a 10% increase over last year's record of 2.378 million encounters. To put these numbers in context, the average between 2016 through 2020 was 479,000 per year. The average between 2021 and 2022, 1.93 million per year. And this year, we just came off of almost 2.4 million. The Biden administration with illegal immigrants at the southern border, it's like a bad Motel 6 commercial where Joe Biden is Tom Bodattin and he says, we'll leave the border open for you. Maybe, just maybe, Republicans were not pulling political stunts. Rather, they were showing you just how bad the situation is after you have repeatedly ignored just how bad of a crisis we have. And yes, you can say the word crisis. Say it with me. Crisis. Thank you, Mr. Mayorkas. Just one time. Say it. Crisis. But one can only hope that the motto, better late than never, is applicable here today at the southern border. And that's the big take.
The Big Take on Kayal Company.
If you guys want to jump in on the conversation, 855-839-1210, the phone number. We'll get Dawn and Greg's reaction when we come back to the southern border and the deployment of 1,500 active troops, 855-839-1210. But right now, got to tell you about my friends at the Piazza Auto Group. I am currently in one of their brand new 2023 Land Rover Defenders, courtesy of the great folks at Piazza Auto Group. And you should see the Land Rover Defender 90 model that I have. Comes in this eye-popping Fuji white with black rims. Thing is beyond gorgeous. The Land Rover Defender, it's got a reputation for being rugged with go-anywhere utility, and it makes them amongst the world's most capable off-road vehicles on the market today. They say the Defender is iconic, and I can see why now. I encourage you to go test drive one of the Defenders for yourself and see what all the hype is about. They come in a variety of sizes and shapes. A two-door Defender 90, which is the one I have. Or how about the four-door Defender 110 or an eight-passenger Defender 130? And the 130 is perfect for all-terrain family expeditions with up to 8 people on board, and it comes with superior comfort. The Defender 90 and 110 available with 3 engine choices, a 2-liter 4-cylinder, a 3-liter 6-cylinder, or the 5-liter V8. Visit Land Rover of Westchester, Willow Grove, or Wilmington today, or shop online right now at piazzapremiumautos.com.
At American Heritage Credit Union, our rates allow you to choose what works best for your lifestyle. Enjoy greater flexibility with a high-yield savings account, earning 3.30% annual percentage yield on balances of $10,000 or more. Or lock in your future with a 4.50% annual percentage yield certificate for 24 months. Learn more at AmericanHeritageCU.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Not a member? Join today.
Hi everyone, this is Stephanie Kelly from Emmons Roofing and Siding, and I have some exciting news to share. Emmons has partnered with SunPower, the top-rated home solar company in New Jersey. SunPower has been leading the solar industry for over 37 years and is the only U.S. solar company that's lasted longer than their 25-year warranty. Kill the bill. The energy bill, that is. Imagine no more high energy bills, while all the while helping reduce your carbon footprint at no cost to you. It's a win-win. Yes, we now offer solar, but remember, if you need a new roof, siding, doors, windows, or interior remodeling, don't wait. Right now, Emmons is offering all 1210 listeners 10% off roofing, siding, and Anderson windows. And we are continuing to offer 12-month same-as cash financing. And don't forget that lifetime warranty on your roof. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 856-885-6677, emmonsroofing.com. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, kitchens, baths, and solar. Trust Emmons to be your first and last stop for all your home improvement needs. emmonsroofing.com.
This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me, 40 days up to 40 pounds. Visit njdiet.com or call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Okay, we'll do it live. That's right, we're going to do it live, baby. As Tucker Carlson just said, as he channels his outer Bill O'Reilly. The Tucker tapes have been released. We will see some behind-the-scenes footage on YouTube, and you will hear the behind-the-scenes audio on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT or the Odyssey app. That's coming up as we lead into the cut sheet this morning at 7:45. I don't know what this administration is actually capable of doing from a, hey, let's be proactive, not reactive. I mean, they're very proactive when it comes to censorship and pronouns and really things that don't matter or should not be permissible in this country, because this is apparently the greatest country on planet Earth. But I would say what happened yesterday with the Biden administration sending 1,500 troops to the southern border as Title 42 is set to end is one of the most reactionary, the 23rd hour moments in maybe domestic policy history for this country when we talk about, trying to shore up certain areas of this nation and just, not having up a sign that says, yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter. We don't care if you're unvaccinated. Come on. Of course, we care if you're vaccinated, if you're flying over from Europe or if you're Novak Djokovic, the tennis player. But if you're coming through the southern border, it doesn't matter. Just come on in and we'll take care of you, and then we'll lose track of you, and there'll be 2.5 million people just roaming this country. I'm going to get Dawn and Greg your thoughts on yesterday, because this is something that, Greg, you highlight a lot coming out of the Sunday shows when Alejandro Mayorkas will be asked 15 ways to Sunday if this nation is facing a border crisis. He refuses to say yes to that specific word of crisis. And yesterday, Joe Biden and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin agreed and announced that, you know what, we'll send 1,500 soldiers down there, but we're not really going to send them down there to enforce things. And, you can only use your weapons in self-defense. We're going to send you down for administrative tasks only. Basically, we're going to delegate clerical duties to you folks, and we'll ship you down, but you're not really going to go down there to kick butt and take names.
Well, so this came down during the Dawn show, so I reported it during breaking news yesterday morning at that time. That's one of the cool things about being live and local. We've always got the local angles to it. So one of the things that I would say, well, multiple things. My sources down there as far as under the FEMA umbrella.
Okay.
And work in, for example, the warehouses. They have these huge warehouses. Picture the biggest, like Costco that you've ever seen. And they're all lined up there at the border. And that's one of the things that they need for these 1,500 will be working in those warehouses to bring the folks in. And they have every shoe size, from baby booty to the biggest man's or woman's shoe size.
Oh, nice.
Every diaper, every formula, every shirt size. I mean, imagine that. So you're coming to this country. Welcome to America. Here's your wardrobe.
Yeah.
It's like Wizard of Oz. You get the makeover.
Here's your shopping spree.
Yes.
Very nice.
But the only other thing I'm going to say, about this is you mentioned the Venezuelans and your big take, Nick Kale.
Right.
Is that, my contacts and sources down there say that the Venezuelans, especially, and many of these immigrants crossing the border, they come with their rosary and their Bible. And so the irony to me is that Joe Biden, you mentioned he's ushering in this, unprecedented amount of illegals coming in. They're Catholic conservatives by the millions coming in. Republicans have to be smart, and Republicans have to point out what just happened in Texas. is happening to that immigrant community, because what they should do is say, hey, look at the Democrats. They can't keep anybody safe. You
Great
come
point.
here and look at what happens. We need to keep the criminals out, but welcome to America.
Yeah.
It honestly, this could be the biggest irony to me if, in fact, these folks end up being Christian conservatives. And how then does that impact America and American politics?
It's a good point. So you've got more sources at the border than Kamala does. Dawn Stensland, border czar. How about that?
I was going to save this for the cut sheet, but we might as well, since we're into it now, we might as well play it. In 2018, this woman by the name of Kamala Harris, have we heard of her?
Yes.
Let me get my Venn diagram.
Yeah, she says she called I forget who was president in 2018, but anyway, it's not important.
Slips my mind.
She called deploying troops to the border inappropriate and a political demonstration for TV cameras. So we have some of that audio if you'd like to hear that from the Wayback Machine of 2018.
Let's go to the tape.
I thank the men and women who serve our military and serve in the United States Marine Corps. I also believe that the administration made a decision to deploy them based on a political agenda. And I believe that it is inappropriate to require the limited resources of the United States military to be used in such a way when it was, and these folks who are being deployed there, they're going to leave. They've left their families. They will not be home, looks like, for Thanksgiving. And all because there needed to be some demonstration for the TV cameras based on a political agenda instead of what is a national security threat.
There's the Veep back in 2018 before she became the Veep. How about this? For, quote, 90 days, these 1,500 military personnel will fill critical capability gaps, such as ground-based detection and monitoring, data entry, and warehouse support until Border Patrol agents can address these needs through contracted support. That was Pentagon spokesman Pat Ryder yesterday. We know Title 42 will expire in just about 8 days on May the 11th. But I'm thinking about this. Where we talk about the enforcement of things at the border. He goes on to say that the active duty units will focus on logistical duties rather than enforcement, leaving Border Patrol to devote their resources to stemming the coming tide of tens of thousands of illegal border crossers each day. It's amazing what this administration will enforce and what they will not enforce. And then when they do make an acknowledgement here, and this acknowledgement is better late than never, I suppose, but it's still not, I don't think, going to appease a lot of people, and rightfully so, because the way that they're deploying and what their job responsibilities will be. But even when they do acknowledge things, this administration does so with such arrogance. It really is remarkable. Ryder goes on to say military personnel will not directly participate in law enforcement activities. This deployment to the border is consistent with other forms of military support to DHS over many years. Service members will start arriving in the border region on May 10th, and they will be armed, but only permitted to use their weapons for self-defense. And White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre claimed on Tuesday that troops have been sent to the border for, quote, almost 2 decades now, but those forces are typically drawn from the National Guard. It's rare for the Pentagon to deploy active duty troops domestically. Geez, Karine, you think it's rare because what we're witnessing is unprecedented. 2.378 million people last year alone. That's what we call a crisis. So I'm not sure about her historical context, because if it's not in the binder, she's got no ability to draw on past experiences or the history of this country. But how about the audacity of her as well, too, to say that illegal immigration, Dawn, is down 90%. Where did she find that number from?
Maybe one of Kamala's Venn diagrams.
I mean, my God.
But I think, look at the numbers that we know of.
Yes.
That's what we know of.
Which means there's probably more.
And we should, yes. And so we should be worried about the ones who are those getaways, they call them, right?
Yep.
Those are the dangerous folks. And by the way, American drug dealers and human traffickers from the American side, they're going back and forth. It's a wide open, it's like the wild, wild west.
Yeah, it's like crossing over to Delaware, going right across the bridge here. It's like Michael Pelka coming over to play golf. Just come right over. He'll be here in 20 minutes. It's unbelievable. And to your point this is the numbers that they have told us about or know about. So if it's 2.3 million last year, that's what they tell us. So I'm going to just assume it's probably more like 2.5 or 2.6 that they know of. And then on top of what they don't know, it wouldn't surprise me if it was close to 3 million.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So.
And where are they?
Yep. And, well, some of them go to New York.
Here in
Pennsylvania, and they get $400 or $500 a night hotels, and then they trash it, and they have a big party. They do drugs. They have sex in the hallways, and hotel employees have no idea how to handle it. But
that was New York, right?
That was New York.
I will say I got a kick out of the fact when they came here in the buses and they didn't want to stay in Philadelphia because they wanted jobs.
Mm-hmm.
The folks who came into Philadelphia on the buses at 30th Street Station.
Right.
I love that.
And then I think he had Eric Adams come out and say that Greg Abbott and other Republican governors that are shipping migrants on buses to blue cities, he's racist because he is sending them to cities with black mayors. Well, what does it say about Joe Biden, your fearless leader, Eric Adams, that he doesn't do anything to help these black mayors that are overwhelmed by these stunts of Greg Abbott? The Biden administration doesn't do anything to end the issue right at the root cause, which is at the border. So don't blame Greg Abbott for doing these busing trips because he's got to deal with it front and center on the front lines in his state.
Yeah, they don't have the room. They don't have the space. They don't have...
It's a crisis.
They don't have... Yes, thank you. They don't have the infrastructure.
Texas is full.
Yes. Sorry, folks. Moose out front should have told you.
Yes, no vacancies.
Well, and that's what now New York's mayor is figuring out. They said, "Oh my goodness, we're overwhelmed with this." But in Philadelphia, we keep hearing Mayor Jim Kenney and leadership here saying, "Hey, we're a sanctuary city. You're, come on in. You're welcome." So nobody talked about Philadelphia because our city leaders welcomed those buses.
That's correct. If you guys want to jump in on any of the border commentary, 855-839-1210 is the phone number.
Looking over here at YouTube, by the way, we're streaming live on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. If you're listening right now, hit the like button on the video that you're watching, just so it gets in people's feeds and whatnot. Ken writes, "I've been listening for years, but this is the first time putting a face to the voice." Welcome, Ken.
All right,
Thank
Ken.
you. We like that. Always first-time viewers. We like that. Joanne writes, "Love the show. Saw Dawn and Greg last year in Cape May with Rich, which was awesome. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, Joanne." And Robert writes, "I'm just here to look at Dawn. The other two could be blacked out for all I care."
Thank you, Robert.
I agree. We should just put the camera on Dawn the entire time. No. I'm fine with that.
Nick and Greg are now audio only. And
not true.
Dawn will be visual only due to what Don Lemon has to say.
Yeah.
Dawn, you better keep your mouth closed.
She looks this good at 6:38 in the morning. Can you imagine that?
You're so sweet.
Man.
Takes me at least until 10:30 on the day to get ready. I'm not good until I get up from my nap. Which was glorious yesterday.
Boys, can you pan out a little bit on the camera? I mean,
are they too zoomed in on you?
Just a little too zoomed in.
Yeah.
A little too zoomed in.
Holy crap!
A little too early for that. Thank you. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, you don't like that camera up in your grill, do you?
I don't.
I got you. So one other thing, actually two other things on the Biden front here. Let's go from the border to the mortgage redistribution plan, which is just such a slap in the face to people that go about doing their thing and taking responsibility and accountability and living life the way you're supposed to. The new Biden administration mortgage rules are sparking a lot of outrage still, and now a lot of the financial experts are saying that these mortgage rules that would increase fees for borrowers with good credit in order to offset the costs for less qualified buyers with bad credit, which, by the way, went into effect on Monday. So this is live right now. These financial experts are saying there's a lot of eerie similarities to what spawned the 2008 financial crisis that was ignited in large part by the collapse of subprime mortgages. So it's apparent we don't learn our lessons here with our leaders in this country when it comes to Democrats, who obviously a lot of this happened under Barack Obama in the beginning of his first term. 15 years later, here we are in 2023, and this could very well cause more issues. Here's a quote. "The fact that a proposal flaunting credit risk is being openly pushed by FHFA just a decade and a half after the housing-led 2008 financial crisis is staggering," reads a letter penned by a group of senators led by Marco Rubio, Republican from Florida, Roger Marshall, Republican from Kansas, to the FHFA last week. The letter comes as new rules went into effect just 2 days ago that will allow borrowers with lower incomes and lower credit scores to qualify for lower fees, while those with higher credit ratings or higher incomes could pay increased fees. We gave you some of the numbers, but if you forgot those from last week when we talked about this story, the plan is obviously being met with a lot of pushback, but experts estimating that borrowers with a credit score above 680 will be expected to pay an extra $40 per month on a $400,000 mortgage. So those are some of the financial parameters. So let's just say, because I was talking to my sister yesterday about this, and let's just say like somebody like my sister, she's got a credit score of 720, 750 or whatever. She's just bought a new home up in the Lehigh Valley. I have no idea what it costs, but I'm willing to guess just after being there a few times, it's more than $400,000. And which, by the way, like $400,000 these days gets you a crack house.
Well, except where she is, it probably gets her a lot more.
Yes, the Lehigh Valley, you definitely get more bang for your buck. So people that go about doing things the right way and repaying loans and paying off student debts and things like that, they get penalized. Yeah. So it's, you know what this really feels like to me? This is now housing inclusion.
Yes.
Under the umbrella of diversity, equity, and inclusion, where everybody's feelings matter and everybody needs to be allowed to the party. So I don't know, let's say your credit score is 620 and you make 50 grand a year or whatever, and you can't afford this. Well, now you'll be able to get that thanks to other people. It's great.
It's infuriating because my wife and I have amazing credit scores, and we've tried for a long time to keep our credit scores good by, keeping paying off credit cards and all the stuff that fiscally responsible people do.
Yeah.
And if we were in the market for a house right now, we would be penalized for that, for doing the right thing for 20 years.
That's correct.
Which is infuriating.
That's correct.
It's infuriating.
Yeah.
Where's Joe the plumber? Remember Joe the plumber?
I do. Yeah.
And he talked about, and that was President Obama explaining to him at that time about spreading and redistributing the wealth. And this is just, Obama, what do you call it? Obama 2.0, or I forget what you've called it before, but I mean, it's really just an extension of that.
Keith Martin on YouTube writes, banks are failing, but let's give risky mortgage money to people who can't even afford groceries.
Yeah.
It's a great point.
Yeah, we gave you the numbers yesterday. The 4 banks now combined that have went under have eclipsed the 25 banks financially from a dollar amount that went under in 2008.
This has all the writings of 2008 all over again. It really does. I hate to say that, but it does.
Yeah.
And the collapse of First Republic Bank that you've talked about, the second biggest bank failure in U.S. history. And Nick, you talked about this yesterday, I know, but that is one of the reasons the Federal Reserve, which started meeting yesterday, is gearing up to raise interest rates right after the bank failure. So here we go.
Complete fiscal destruction. And what is it? What, June coming up, where the financial experts are basically saying that the United States will be out of cash. We're out of money. We're broke. Our nation's doomed. That's good to know. As I said yesterday, and I'm not a financial advisor by any stretch, just don't go buying that boat this summer for $35 grand. You might want to just hold on to that cash a little bit.
It's interesting, for so long we debated what the term recession means, and we're technically not in a recession, but all these experts are saying actually we are, or we're headed from one, and all this debate is nonsense when it comes to what people are actually feeling. You know what I mean? Like if we're not technically in a recession, it doesn't matter because people are feeling like we're in one.
That's correct. 855-839-1210. Yesterday, we talked about Hunter Biden and his child support hearing in Arkansas. And I asked the question, how could anybody without really any job or income on the books afford $20,000 a month in child support? Well, we might have the answers from 2011 emails with Hunter Biden. That story and those details and those figures coming up next here on Kayal Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
With food prices going up, it's hard to decide on what to buy and where to buy. If you're looking for a way to stretch your food dollars, look no further than your neighborhood grocery outlet. We have the name brands you love for 40 to 70% less than regular grocery stores. Our stores are locally owned and operated by people in your community, so we understand the challenges you are facing. Stop by your local grocery outlet today for deals you won't believe.
Grocery Outlet Bargain Market.
Lexus of Cherry Hill, a 5-time J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence for customer service. The 2023 Lexus models are here and moving fast, and the 2023 Lexus RZ 450e all-electric has arrived. Tony LaBelle and his team are your source for the Lexus of your dreams. Over 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock. You deserve this Lexus, and you deserve award-winning customer service. Start your journey with family-owned and operated Lexus of Cherry Hill.
For J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence information, visit jdpower.com/US-DOE.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
The following conversation brought to you by Omega. 800-300-9ERC. That's 800-300-9372. OmegaTaxCredits.com.
I thought I couldn't get the ERC if I got the PPP loan.
Nope. If you're a business owner with 5 to 500 employees, you might be eligible.
I thought it was really difficult to apply for the ERC.
Not if you use Omega. See, Omega is an accounting firm that has been around for over 15 years. They are a true accounting firm that will have a fiduciary relationship with you and your business, and they don't get paid until you get paid.
But I'm sure it takes forever to find out if you're eligible.
Again, no. If you call 800-300-9ERC, you could learn if you're a good candidate in less than 10 minutes.
I make a call that takes less than 10 minutes, and I can find out if my company is pre-qualified to receive a tax credit up to $26,000 per employee.
During the qualifying time frame, yes.
I'm checking out OmegaTaxCredits.com right now.
This conversation was voiced by actors that belong to a company that has already filed for their ERC.
If the crash of 2008 showed us anything, it's that we can't trust Wall Street, big banks, and the mainstream media, especially with the money we've earned and saved all our lives.
That's right. So if you're looking for a safe and secure way to protect yourself and your family in the golden years, Crash-Proof Retirement is for you.
Yeah, don't be fooled by the imitators. The Crash-Proof Retirement System has been proven over nearly 2 decades as a way to grow and preserve 100% of your principal, with no market risk and no fees ever.
Crash-Proof Retirement is completely transparent, recording every educational session, so there are no misunderstandings. Does your advisor do that?
Learn how you can potentially earn double-digit interest.
For your introduction to the Crash-Proof Retirement System, call 800-722-9728. That's 800-722-9728. Or visit CrashProofRetirement.com.
You've heard me talk over the years about how much I think just the world of the Chapman family team. Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding. They have made my home certainly more beautiful. We love the patio doors and all the custom work they've done in the foyer area to open things up. And that's just it. Whether you need windows, doors, exterior doors, interior doors, whatever it is, whatever that project is, the Chapmans can also customize your home. Let's say you want to bring the outside in with a spectacular open view. Ask about the Nana wall product. You got to see it. Gorgeous wall of glass doors and windows. it will truly transform your home and bring the light in. Chapman, they also offer those premium architecture shutters designed to last a lifetime, historically accurate with hardware options and a lifetime warranty. Just some of the special, unique Chapman differences that I'm always raving about. Here's the thing. The Chapman team, they offer meticulous work, outstanding service. I always say high-quality products installed by high-quality people. Yeah, that's the Chapmans. They get it. They listen. They respect your budget, too. Everything's in writing up front. Just call them or text them. They're listening now. Longtime listeners here to WPHT. 610-431-8898. 610-431-8898. You can do a virtual tour on their website, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Calling on Atco, New Jersey to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app.
Download it now.
Kayal Company, as we continue here on a Wednesday morning. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app, streaming on YouTube. Stay up to date with the latest Catholic news by signing up for Catholic Philly's weekly newsletter containing local, national, and world Catholic news, inspiring feature stories, and more each week directly to your email inbox. Visit CatholicPhilly.com to learn more. Speaking of email inboxes and learning more, how about this? 2011 emails reveal that Hunter Biden helped business associates get access to then Vice President Joe Biden and his top aides, which was interesting because yesterday we talked about how Hunter Biden and his big shot attorney in Arkansas, as they are going through a child support situation in the courts, in family courts with Hunter Biden's 21-year younger to Hunter Biden. What was her name? I'm drawing a blank on her name, but she's 32 and he's 53 years old. And, of course, he has never seen the daughter, who Navy Joan, I believe, which is a very cool name.
Yeah, sweet little. It's sad, isn't it?
It is.
You see the little
4-year-old girl, and she's never met her father because her father's a scumbag. So he is now, according to his attorney, has already given his daughter and the mom $750,000 in total, and is paying $20,000 a month in child support, which is a remarkably high. I feel like that's something like, Kanye West would be paying Kim Kardashian. But Kanye West has made a ton of money. Apparently, so has Hunter Biden. We just don't know where it's really come from. So in these emails that are now being released, quote, "This is the guy with the magic paper that you had me meet with," VP Biden's deputy chief of staff said in 2012 over emails to Hunter Biden. So let's give a little context to this story, and then we'll be able to figure out how this dude is actually able to shell out allegedly $20,000 a month in child support. So President Joe Biden and his deputy chief of staff appear to have met with 3 of Hunter Biden's business associates, at least one of whom was a foreign national, at the White House in the summer of 2011 when Joe was the vice president. That, according to emails and White House visitor logs reviewed by Fox News. At the time of the meeting, Hunter was trying to secure a deal with those associates in bonds worth billions of dollars, billions with a B. In June 2011, Hunter Biden and his business partner, Rosemont Seneca Partners, co-founder Devin Archer, were in talks with a man named Sean Conlon, the future CNBC The Deed co-host and founder of Conlon & Co., about a potentially lucrative business opportunity if Hunter would be able to secure a meeting between his father and 2 of Conlon's associates, Andre Lasserre and a man who goes by the name of Wang. I don't know if it's like Wang Chung. Everybody have fun tonight. I have no idea who Wang
cool name.
is. Yeah, cool name. And he apparently identified as Ji Wang in visitor logs.
Hey, Wang, it's a parking lot. What's with the pictures?
Yeah. Sorry. Nice work. And so these two individuals, they get together, they meet with Joe. Hunter arranges the meeting with the big guy. But earlier, energy executive David Gamperl had emailed Conlon a contract that was sent to him by another individual named Nagy Gowi, a chairman, president of since-dissolved Mercantile Investment Group in the West Indies, in which Gamperl had said, we have a real business model here and would help them make a, quote, substantial profit. Quote, here is the current contract. Gamperl wrote to Conlon in 2011. Quote, proof of funds are in place and we may close this week. We will make substantial profit on this deal. Market between $230 to $380 million. I'm trying to close this bond immediately as it opens the floodgates on 29 others. I will also forward you a copy of the bond and verification from, and he goes, blah, 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 blah. Basically, it wraps it up by saying, good stuff, and I think we have a real business model and opportunity here. So between $230 and $380 million. So if you were listening to us yesterday and you were trying to do the math and figure out what type of income you need to make to afford $20,000 a month in child support, here's your smoking gun, or here's at least the context to which if you're raking in somewhere between $200 and $380 million, shelling out $20K a month's not that big of a deal. If, in fact, this is true, and if, in fact, Hunter Biden received a substantial amount of this. I mean, this doesn't prove he got X amount of dollars specifically, but now you at least have a little bit of a context and a ballpark figure for $20,000 a month in child support gets.
Yeah, it all comes back to the point yesterday that you made, that we were making on the show. Where does somebody who has no discernible skills, as far as I can tell?
Well, he sells paintings, right? He sells art.
He can afford $20,000 a month in child care payments.
By the way, just for the record,
yes.
Kanye worth $1.3 billion. Reportedly, Kim Kardashian worth $1.8.
Yeah.
So she's paying him.
Oh, she's paying him.
Just to clarify.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
no, I don't know.
Oh.
They settled undisclosed. But.
Okay. But I'm willing to bet the child support's more than $20,000 a month.
Who's paying who, though? She's worth more than him.
Right. And what kid needs $20,000 a month?
Hey, everything's relative.
I know.
So daddy gonna pay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
daddy, you're gonna pay.
Yeah.
And so if you're the daddy and you make big bucks,
Yeah.
it's all relative. Whether you make $40K a year or $4 million a year, they're gonna. The fact that she received that $20,000, what it tells me, to your point, that judge looked at whatever evidence they had and said, this is the determination based on his wealth.
If I'm Hunter Biden's lawyer, I'm screaming in court, $20,000 a month? The 4-year-old eats Lunchables. what am I doing with $20,000 a month?
Well,
I'm just kidding.
That sounds to me kind of like Bernie Sanders saying anybody who makes 999, almost $1 billion, give the rest to the government.
Anything above it should go right to the government. Yep.
That's right. So baby mamas should get their money and billionaires should keep theirs.
What's the lesson to be learned with all of this, though? If you're a guy, you better make sure she's the one.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right?
Save yourself for marriage.
Yep. Because if not,
or stay,
that's right.
or just stay in an unhappy marriage for a long time.
Or
because,
yes,
you don't want to pay anything.
Right. Screwing up is too expensive for the guy.
It is.
Even though it's a little early for Caroline, I'm just in case my boys are listening. Did you hear Nick Kayal tell you?
Yes.
I just can't believe what Dawn was saying, that like, hey, it's all relative, $20,000 a month. I mean, what could the kid possibly need for $20,000 a month?
That's not anybody's business.
Yeah.
If the baby, seriously, if the father is worth that kind of big bucks, then that's, think about it. It's relative to the same guy who's making, whatever,
Right.
40 to 80 grand a year is paying actually is paying a bigger proportion of the money that
and my
he
buddy
needs.
My buddy is probably in like the $60,000 to $70,000 a year salary range, and he's paying $1,250 a month in child support.
Wow.
$1,250 a month. Yeah. So once Uncle Sam takes 25%, there's probably another 20% that goes, and he's not like fighting it. He's fine with it, but it just goes to show you.
Don't you think it should be whatever the kid, like, obviously if they're going to an expensive private school or whatever, then whatever arrangement they had, but to just give out $20,000 a month that says, here, do whatever you want with it. I don't know. I just feel like that's...
Well, and that's always what the guy tries to do. Like, I want to know where the money's going that I'm giving, I don't want mom spending it on a vacation and buying perfume.
Yes, exactly.
How does Hunter live with his young wife right now, and he has a baby, right? So how does he live? How do they live? They live a lavish life. And so the mother of this, what's her name? London Roberts.
Yeah, that's the
London
name of
Roberts.
Yep.
So of Little Navy, she's saying my daughter should live the same life that Hunter's other children live.
I should have married a very wealthy female doctor, got divorced, and asked for $10,000 a month.
Well, Eileen Gus on YouTube, by the way, we're streaming live on YouTube, says, now, wait a minute, it's not just guys that get stuck paying. That's true.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
I was just saying about Kim Kardashian. She's seriously worth, possibly double what Kanye's worth.
That's right. All right, 855-839-1210.
By the way, if you're watching right now on YouTube, there's a ton of you watching. So just hit the like button. Hit the like button if you're watching right now, and subscribe. If you haven't done so, subscribe. I thought that there was like some statistic the other day that like 43% of the people who were watching weren't subscribed. It's like, what are you doing?
Wow.
Come on.
That's ridiculous.
Subscribe
Yes.
at 1210 WPHT.
All right.
Help us get to 3,000 subscribers.
That's
please.
the goal this week.
Yes.
855-839-1210. We are officially off the list. We'll give you those details on the other side. And late night TV writers, they go on strike. We'll get to that story on the other side. Dawn will have the news as well. It's Kayal Company. Hour 2 is next.
You got the alert this morning. Now get the whole story. Count on NBC 10 News today.
It's more than just headlines. It's news to get you ready for your day.
If you need motivation, here we go. We've got your playbook.
The most accurate hour-by-hour weather forecasts.
Traffic info to get you there and back easier. It's all you need to get up, get ahead, and stay ahead.
Make your mornings count with NBC 10 News today. Count on it.
King Shooter Supply, a full-service gun store, licensed FFL, buy, sell, trade, all sorts of accessories, and indoor range and training center is open in King of Prussia with lessons and classes for all shooters, such as parent and child gun safety and range time, weekly cleaning classes, and pistol red dot. Check out all the offerings. Membership options include law enforcement, military, first responder, and seniors. Stop in to see King Shooter Supply, 346 East Church Road in King of Prussia, or find them on Facebook, kingshooters.com. Now open Sundays too, noon till 6.
If you haven't stepped foot in one of the Dogs and Cats Rule stores, what are you waiting for? Hi, I'm George Parenti, the lead dog at the Dogs and Cats Rule. We all know there's so many choices for pet parents to decide where to buy and what to buy. That's why the staff at the Dogs and Cats Rule stores are perfectly positioned to guide you on decisions about nutrition, homeopathic supplements, fashionable apparel, and of course, an overwhelming selection of toys, chews, and treats. So visit Dogs and Cats Rule with 7 neighborhood locations, or find us anytime online at dogsandcatsrule.pet.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Costs at the grocery store going up, including bottled water. There's a better way to ensure your family is drinking clean, pure water. A Kinetico water system from Martin Water Conditioning. The Kinetico system removes all the impurities from your water. What comes out of the tap? Crystal clear, all natural, delicious water. Put the Martin Water Conditioning family's passion for water to work for you. Do what I did. Contact Martin Water Conditioning for your free, no obligation water test. Visit martinwater.com, martinwater.com.
In the Pennsylvania Army National Guard, get a head start on a career in exciting fields, including science, communications, engineering, and medicine, all while earning money for your education. This training will boost your eligibility for a high-paying and rewarding profession, and you can get it all while serving part-time in your community. To learn more about the Pennsylvania Army National Guard, visit nationalguard.com/PA and talk to a recruiter today. Paid for by the Pennsylvania Army National Guard.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Take
Tastykake believes it's what's on the inside that counts. But a sweet new wardrobe for spring doesn't hurt. Your favorite Tastykake treats like butterscotch crimpets, candy cakes, pecan swirls, and more are now in a new packaging. The treats you know and love have not changed a bit, only their fresh new packaging. That's right, new look, same tasty treats. So spring into the season and grab yourself a Tastykake treat today, because the only thing better than what's on the outside is what's on the inside. Tastykake, accept no substitutes.
The Dudat Dental Group, official dentist of the Philadelphia Eagles, is a proud supporter of the Talk Radio 1210 Radiothon for the Travis Manion Foundation. Dr. Dilip Dudat grew up in North Wales, graduated from North Penn High School and Temple Dental School. Today, Dr. D and his team supports our local area by providing advanced dental care using the latest technology at 30 area practices, and contributes to the local economy with 250 team members. The Dudat Dental Group, proud supporter of the Travis Manion Foundation. Visit PhiladelphiaEaglesDentist.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Joel Embiid becomes the first Sixers player to be named the NBA's MVP since Allen Iverson in 2001. Workers at a West Reading candy factory tell investigators they smelled rotten eggs before the building exploded. A man suspected of killing 5 people, including a 9-year-old boy near Cleveland, Texas, is in police custody.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Kayal Company mornings. Rich Cioli afternoons. Free speech lives here. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Why drink the water from my hand?
7:06, Kayal Company, back here for hour number 2 on a Wednesday morning. Tony Bruno will join us coming up at 8:20. And we've got a big 7 o'clock hour that is officially underway. What's on the cut sheet? That's coming up at 7:45 this morning. And then also, before we get to that, we have the Tucker tapes that we will play you. Whether this is truth or an attempt to tarnish, we'll debate that. And then also, I never thought that these two would be in the same story together, but Jalen Hurts and Donald Trump in the same story. Stay tuned for that. That's coming up in about 20 minutes' time. But before all of that, we get to Dawn Stenslin for round 2 of the news.
And good morning. It's a chilly morning in the high 40s, 48 degrees as the sun rises this morning. We are sponsored in Kayal Company News Live by Hint Water. A police chase along the Vine Street Expressway ending with a crash between the pursued car and a police vehicle. This happened in Philadelphia's Spring Garden section. So police say it all started early this morning. An armed robbery happened in Fishtown. Officers then were going after the suspects in a high-speed chase, we're told. Those suspects driving away in a silver Hyundai. So the Hyundai ended up crashing into a median right on I-676, landed on top of a police car on the eastbound lanes right near the 8th Street exit there. One of those suspects ran away, the other one arrested. Thankfully, though, no officers were injured in that crash. By the way, we talked about Monday beginning a new enforcement in Philadelphia by PPA with those bike patrol officers. A new squad, if you will, was headed out. I want to give you a heads up that phase 3 of this program begins today. Dun, dun, dun. So,
do we have a dollar amount of the money raised so far by the city with this?
I have a ticket amount. 3,053 tickets were issued to vehicles parked along those roadways, and that was 3,000 have been, since this program started.
And you were saying they're somewhere in the $50 to $70 per ticket range?
Yes,
so
depending on where you're,
right, let's just go $60 times 3. What was the number you said? 3,000?
3,053.
3,053. That would be $183,180.
Cha-ching. Easy money.
Yeah.
Easy money.
You're just racking up the money.
Speaking of racking up the money, the Fed expected to raise rates. That's expected. We're supposed to get that news today. That's what we're looking at. They started meeting yesterday. So unfortunately, higher interest rates on the way as they try to mitigate, the inflation that we're experiencing. Sixers take on the Celtics tonight, 8 o'clock in Boston, Game 2 of the Eastern Conference. Obviously, Joel Embiid, woohoo, the NBA MVP award. Of course, for us in Philadelphia, we think it's deserved, but he's the 5th Sixer ever to capture the league MVP honors, joining Wilt Chamberlain, Dr. J, Julius Erving, Allen Iverson, and Moses Malone.
That's an elite company to be in, for sure.
And speaking of elite company, our Phil star Bryce Harper, he returned to the lineup. We lost in Los Angeles 13-1. So not a spectacular start, but Bryce Harper is back. He's been recovering for 5 months in rehab.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a slow restart.
Yeah, the Phillies only 5.5 games out of first place, looking up at the Mets and Braves. Like, they had a real opportunity to put the Phillies in the basement, like Joe Biden campaigning in 2020, and they didn't do it. And now that Harper's back, they should be concerned.
But this early, doesn't everybody lose? It's so early in the season. How many games are there in baseball?
Too many. 160,
Okay.
162. Yeah,
early.
I've always said we should trim off 22 games. That's just me.
Easily.
Yeah, but it's not my bottom line that gets affected.
Well, speaking of the bottom line, how about some Hint water? Delicious. Fruit-infused water, no sugar or diet sweeteners. I love Hint water. More than 25 amazing flavors to choose from, including watermelon and pineapple. So refreshing. In stores or delivered from hintwater.com. Thank you, Hint Water, for sponsoring our Nick Kayal, Kayal Company News Live at 7. T-Mobile Weather Center forecast, 47, mostly cloudy right now. Feels like 43 with that breeze. And the rain, we're seeing the rain restarting about 8:30 this morning. So kind of a drizzly, raw morning, but it's going to end soon, so keep hope alive. 54 degrees with the showers, intermittent showers today. Tomorrow we begin that warm-up for your Thursday, 60 degrees tomorrow. The sun does come out for your Friday. I remember Nick Kayal had a golfing date maybe on Friday, so 62 degrees for your Friday and sunny, and the sunshine continues through the weekend, just partly sunny, but no heavy rain or intermittent rain expected for the weekend. Saturday, 68 degrees for your Saturday, when Nick Kayal's going to be out with his veteran from his new friend, who's the
Great Stan Friday.
So you'll have nice weather to help out.
That's correct. He'll be 101.
That is so
this July.
I thought of it yesterday. I was out doing yard work. I'm like, Nick Kayal's such a sweetheart that you are doing that. I love that you're doing that.
I'm going to be like throwing some of the mulch down with the wheelbarrow. I'm just going to look over and see Stan not breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
Me ready to have a heart attack. And I'm like, look at this guy over here.
Mr. Friday, can we please have a water break? No water break. Keep going.
Stan, what's your wife's name? Oh, her name's Jill. Jill, can we get 2 lemonades over here?
Well, that's your T-Mobile Weather Center forecast. It's really a beautiful, lovely spring weekend. 68 Saturday, 73 Sunday. Lots of sunshine.
All right. Thank you very much, Dawn. So this is an interesting story. We've been talking about the decline of late-night television, and we've given you plenty of audio examples as to how they are preachy and obviously very left-wing oriented. And we gave you the clip yesterday. I think it was either Colbert or Kimmel that was, doing yet again another played-out Donald Trump parody bit. Well, yesterday the news came down that the late-night writers for all of these TV shows are going on strike. And I didn't realize just how wide-ranging this actually was. But this ranges from Colbert to Fallon to Jimmy Kimmel to Seth Meyers to Saturday Night Live to The Daily Show. I'm not sure. Is this like a union type thing?
Yes.
It is. In full disclosure, I am in said union.
Oh, okay.
So I believe it's a SAG-AFTRA.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So,
Screen Actors Guild.
Yes, I am in this union. I'm obviously not striking.
Right.
So I think the problem is over streaming. They want to get paid for streaming.
Oh, I want to get paid for our YouTube subscribers. How do I work that into my deal?
Yeah. So they're not happy with, and of course in solidarity with these late night shows, because God forbid they try and get out there and do something funny on their own,
right?
Like we have to do. 5 days a week for 4 hours a day, gone for 6 hours a day.
Yeah, I don't have anybody writing my big take, by the way.
Yes. They can't do it on their own. They say it's for solidarity with the writers, but the fact of the matter is that they couldn't do it on their own.
Well, Seth Meyers went on to say on Late Night this afternoon, whatever that is. I don't watch him at night. I damn sure I'm not going to watch him in the afternoon. He says, I love writing. I love writing for TV. I love writing the show. I love that we get to come in with an idea for what we want to do every day, and we get to work on it all afternoon, and then I have the pleasure of coming out here. No one is entitled to a job in show business. And in this story from Deadline.com, they talk about all the guests that were lined up for all these different shows for the week. Colbert was set to have Priyanka Chopra on her show. Fallon was set to have Ken Jeong and Emma Chamberlain on Tuesday, and Jennifer Lopez and J.J. Watt. Kimmel was welcoming Dr. Phil to his show, Melissa McCarthy. So apparently they have all these things, pre-booked and scheduled and lined up. So now everything is just basically put on a hiatus? Is there going to be no shows?
Well, because technically, if you're J-Lo or Dr. Phil, you don't want to cross a picket line, right? So they don't want to cross that, and these folks are striking.
Yeah.
So will they not do these shows?
They're on reruns.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're. I mean, this has happened before.
Yeah, have they lasted for a long duration?
It happened 15 years ago. I don't remember. I think some of them did.
Okay.
Because a lot of these shows just won't go on. Saturday Night Live is not going to go on. It's a big deal if you are into this type of stuff.
So essentially, it'll be a negotiation between the writers' union and the individuals that run these shows, and they'll have to come to some sort of agreement on, I guess, compensation?
Well, what's really going to happen is that once the bottom line starts getting affected, the dollar amount, you've reported that a lot of these shows have been losing revenue.
Right.
Once the bottom line's affected, then the heads are going to be like, all right, you guys need to work this out.
Well, the only people not losing money are the hosts. Like Jimmy Fallon and those guys are making north of $15 million a year for this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they really wanted to, they could chip in a little bit.
Yeah, they could.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Especially since their audience has disappeared.
Jay Leno, when he was on some sort of contract dispute for something or left somewhere, he paid his writers and his producers out of his own pocket.
That's just amazing.
Yeah, they could give him a bonus, or hopefully they do, buy him nice gifts or something, because these are the people that write for them.
Right.
But it affects all the 8 major studios: Amazon, Apple, Disney, Warner Brothers Discovery, NBC, Universal, Netflix, Paramount, Sony.
This will be like Dorenzo and Valdez rising up and saying, we demand a raise or we're not going to print off stories for you in the morning.
By the way, I mean, these writers, watch out for AI, because we know that a lot of these AI chat GPT things can write some interesting things.
They might be funnier than Jimmy Fallon.
I was just going to say, can you imagine if they started doing this?
Be pretty remarkable.
What we should do is we should take a late night show and try and have a chat GPT writer write jokes for us.
Wow.
And just see how that goes.
Yeah. All right.
That's awful.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't know.
But we already know ChatGPT's left-wing oriented, so it's going to be the same silly liberal humor.
So are the late night shows. So does it really matter?
Well, the late night shows are what jokes the host chooses, right?
Yeah.
So the writers, it's like when you're cooking spaghetti and you throw the noodle at the cabinet, what sticks. So the writers might be writing really funny material, but it's what Colbert would choose out of that.
You know who's sitting back and smiling this morning?
Who?
It was Greg Gutfeld.
Yeah,
already the king of late night, and I don't believe this affects him, right?
It does not. It does not, because his writers are not part of this union. I understand.
There you have it.
Because he did a show last night.
Yeah.
So.
All right. 855-839-1210 if you want to jump in the conversation. The United States is officially off the list. We'll give you that story. And also, Jalen Hurts and Donald Trump in the same story. Will this change your opinion of, presumably, your favorite NFL quarterback? We're back after this here on Kayal Company.
Hi, it's John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sunday mornings at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210. Have you or someone you know been diagnosed with cancer or breast cancer? Dr. Molly Fantasia and the healthcare team at Innovative Medical Associates can help. They offer medical hydration therapy. Their cancer support program is designed to reduce chronic symptoms often associated with diagnosis or treatment, including pain and fatigue. Dr. Molly's unique protocols have improved quality of life for hundreds of patients.
I want to help you heal. I want to help you have a quality of life while going through cancer treatments.
Visit innovativemedicalassociates.com to learn more about their cancer support treatments. Join me and Dr. Molly when we discuss the benefits of medical hydration and more on Health Watch every Sunday morning 8 till 9 and Sunday afternoon 4 till 5 here on Talk Radio 1210.
Hi, this is Norman the Floorman from Norman Carpet. The inventor of the throat lozenger died last month. There was no coffin at his funeral.
No kidding, folks. Whether you need carpet for your home or business, whether it's your boardroom, bedroom, or investment property, I've got just the thing at half price. Whether you visit my showroom on Lancaster Avenue in Bryn Mawr or my warehouse in Conshohocken, you'll save big. Call me at 1-800-220-RUGS. That's Norman Carpet, 1-800-220-RUGS, or visit us at normancarpet.net.
Hello, I'm Greg Figueroa.
And I'm David Figueroa. Over 30 years ago, my brother Greg and I set out on a mission to offer the world a better hot sauce.
That's right, David. We made Melinda's thicker, hotter, and better than ordinary hot sauces.
And now we have 32 exciting and delicious sauces that hot sauce fans are obsessed with, like our ghost pepper sauce, our Thai sweet chili, and our best-selling black truffle hot sauce.
Melinda's also has 5 spicy ketchups made with real sugar and no added junk like high fructose corn syrup. People ask David and I, what makes Melinda so good? That's easy. We think like chefs do. Instead of burning someone with hot peppers and vinegar, we use fresh plant-based ingredients and the finest chili peppers perfectly blended to set your mouth on flavor. Melinda's is proud to be the official hot sauce of the AT&T Byron Nelson. We make 32 craft pepper sauces that are thicker, hotter, and better. Find them in a grocery store near you at melindas.com. That's melindas.com. melindas.com.
I'm sure you've seen the news recently. The military shot down 3 objects just last month. Balloons, UFOs, UAPs. What is really going on? This is Payne Lindsay, host of Up and Vanished. Follow my new investigative podcast, High Strange, as I dig into the most infamous UFO stories of our time, talking to the real witnesses, and presenting all the evidence for you to decide what you believe. High Strange is a new true crime series, and it's available right now. Listen for free on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You got to live life to the fullest. You hear that all the time, right? But it's easier said than done, especially when you're suffering, when you're in pain. QC Kinetics gives people all over the Philadelphia region back their quality of life by providing much-needed relief for chronic pain, and not just providing that relief, but doing it in the most non-invasive way possible, using regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. Pretty amazing. So where's your joint pain? In your knees, your hips, your aching shoulders, or maybe your back? QC Kinetics concentrates these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them the most. No surgery, no downtime, no steroids or harmful drugs, and patients are raving about the results. So what does living life to the fullest look like for you? Finally being able to go out and play golf, walk your dog, play a little Frisbee with the kids, enjoy time with your family, or just doing your job without pain? Whatever that is, whatever that looks like, don't wait one more day. Just call QC Kinetics for your complimentary consultation with locations around the Philadelphia region, 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000. Just call QC Kinetics. 215-999-3000. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hey, Ben Salem, tell your smart speaker play 1210 WPHT.
Welcome back in, Kayal Company, 723, as we continue here on a Wednesday morning. Tony Bruno, 1 hour from now. What's on the cut sheet in just about 20 minutes? The Tucker tapes about 12 minutes out. 2 stories to hit on here, though. Number 1, we are officially off the list. I gave you the list of nations last week of countries in which you needed to be vaccinated against COVID-19 to enter. And the only country on there of real significance and importance was the United States of America. We gave you Palau, Indonesia, and a bunch of other third world small nations and island countries. Well, the United States will be officially off the list effective 8 days from now on May the 11th, as the Biden-Harris administration will end the COVID-19 vaccination requirements for international travelers entering the United States, federal employees, contractors, Head Start educators, and CMS certified facilities. And this also obviously applies to some of the absurd double standards that we were highlighting for the last handful of months, if not years, in this country and certainly on this show. Because if you think about it, when you were coming across the southern border, you didn't need to be vaccinated. It was okay. But if you're a tennis fan, and I'm not a tennis fan, I don't watch any tennis at all, but I know who Novak Djokovic is. Arguably the greatest tennis player of all time, certainly in the modern era. He's been banned from competing in events like the U.S. Open because he refused to get the COVID-19 shot and get vaccinated. So Novak Djokovic will now have the ability to return to the United States for said tournaments that he would like to participate in, even though he's not vaccinated.
It's crazy.
How crazy? I mean, just think about this, the level of ignorance and stupidity, and actually maybe stubbornness is the correct word, that we did not allow people, after we came to the realization that being vaccinated did not prevent you from getting it and did not prevent you from spreading it, yet you would force, and I'm just going to go with Djokovic just because he's a young athlete in the prime of his career, great shape, great conditioning. The COVID shot essentially worthless for Novak Djokovic, right? It's not like he's, 85 years old and he's got emphysema or whatever, and, maybe the COVID shot would prevent him from dying or being placed in a hospital with severe illness. The shot was basically rendered useless for people like Novak Djokovic, and we're not going to allow him in the country, but we will allow you to come across the southern border. Made absolutely no sense, Dawn.
It's insane. It's insane. And recently, he couldn't come into Miami.
That's correct.
Playing the latest tournament. And
Remember, DeSantis was joking. He was like, I'll smuggle you in on a boat. Yeah. So
that's just it. He could have come. I mean, that's the question. Could he have entered through the southern border somehow?
Yeah.
Just come up through there.
Get like one of those fake disguise kits with the fake mustache and the glasses. I don't know if you guys remember that story years ago. The old Mets manager, Bobby Valentine, against the Phillies. Yep. The umpire ejected him. He had to go back down into the dugout and into the locker room. And like a half hour later, he came out with like these real big fake glasses and a fake nose and a mustache.
It's amazing.
And he's just sitting there in the dugout hoping not to be spotted. That's what Djokovic should have done. And then I want to just get to this story, and maybe we'll continue with this on the other side as well. And I'm not sure if this will resonate with people or if people can separate the two, but we know that a lot of people don't like when athletes, go into the political spectrum. And there's a photo with Donald Trump that reportedly led Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts to leave the agency that first represented him when he was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. And that agency was owned and operated by a hip-hop superstar named Lil Wayne, or as the kids say, Lil Wayne. Donald Trump, though, at the center of a breakup, allegedly, between the agency of Lil Wayne and Jalen Hurts. Take this for what it's worth. This is according to Skip Bayless, who's one of those gas bags on TV on Fox Sports 1. But according to Skip Bayless, Hurts and his agent, Nicole Lynn, left Lil Wayne's Young Money APAA sports agency over a photo that Lil Wayne took with then-President Donald Trump. Specifically, Lil Wayne met with Trump in 2020 to discuss a $500 billion package to, quote, uplift black communities. The initiative was known as the Platinum Plan. After the meeting, Wayne posted a photo on social media standing next to Donald Trump in the latter's signature thumbs-up position. Bayless says that photo had, quote, something, be it a lot or little, to do with Hurts and why Hurts and his female agent now, Lynn, left the Young Money agency. What's more is that Wayne endorsed Donald Trump for president that November. Trump then pardoned Lil Wayne on a federal weapons charge in January of 2021 before he left office and Joe Biden took over. While not a reporter, Bayless is a personal friend of Lil Wayne's, and Skip Bayless claims that Lil Wayne is one of his dearest pals. So Bayless is apparently not speculating here, but rather would have some level of information that came from Lil Wayne or someone close to him. Now they go on to say in this story from Outkick that it's not hard to imagine a simple photo with Trump causing Hurts and Lynn to depart the Young Money agency. Lynn's apparently her entire reputation is attached to identity. The media loves her. The likes of ESPN didn't praise her for brokering Hurts' new $255 million contract because it set an NFL record. Rather, ESPN was praising her because she was the first black female agent to land such a lucrative deal for an NFL player. So this is interesting because, and I think a lot of people are unaware of this, especially the clueless people out there that always want to say, oh, Trump's a racist, Trump's a racist. There's a lot of people, and I can't tell you that I'm certainly not an insider to the hip-hop music industry, but there's a lot of rappers and hip-hop artists that love Donald Trump, that like Donald Trump. And they've used him in his songs and have reputations with him and have relationships with him. So I'm not surprised in the least that Lil Wayne is a Trump supporter. But does it bother you as a football fan, if you're an Eagle fan and you're a Jalen Hurts fan, to me, the apparent thing here is Jalen Hurts comes off a little bit soft. Like, okay, you want to leave and go to another agency? I got that. I totally understand that as a talent. You want a better representation? No problem. But if it's apparently over you being butthurt because Lil Wayne took a picture with Donald Trump, like, dude, I mean, I love Jalen Hurts. You know that. He played at Alabama. He plays for the Eagles. That's my guy. But if you left because of that, it's a little weak, bud.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
I don't know. Should it matter? No. Will it matter to some? Yes. In my world, I just look at it and I'm like, dude, I mean, there are black people that like Trump. I hate to break it to you. And if Lil Wayne and Donald Trump are boys, then, so be it. But if you and your female agent want to go elsewhere because you're, quote, offended by that apparently, then, it's not like I'm going to stop rooting for Jalen Hurts, but I'm just going to be like, behind closed doors, or if I was sitting down having a cocktail with Jalen, I'll be like, hey, why don't you get over it, man? It's not that big of a deal.
I don't know. This is Skip Bayless trying to make headlines in a podcast.
It's a great point.
I would love to know the inside story.
Yes, and he tries to claim it and play it off like, and we have the audio for you.
It's a rumor, right?
Yeah, it's a rumor. And Skip addressed it on apparently his podcast that he does after his TV show, which I always love these guys that feel they need to keep talking after they're done being paid to talk. But we were going to play it for you, and it's about 3.5 minutes long, but it's the most boring, drawn out. Like, he literally it really makes Kamala Harris seem like a great orator when you listen to Skip Bayless try to explain this. And he never really gets into the Trump part per se, because I don't think he wants to get into politics and, alienate his audience, which makes him smart in that regard. But if you're going to put that out, you should probably have more context to it. But, apparently it had something to do. But then again, to your point, Dawn, Skip Bayless as the source, Skip Bayless sometimes is spot on, and other times he's completely full of crap.
Yeah, I think Jalen Hurts, and this happens to people, that you have an agent, longtime agent that represents you. He just got this huge contract, and I suspect I'll be curious to see what agencies he's going to go to that are perhaps a more full service agency that gets his brand, his clothing line, Hurts So Good, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's involved in a lot of other business, prospects and entities. I'd be curious to know if he's going to go with, some other full service agency that's not that, no disrespect to the agency that stuck by him and that he stuck by all these years. But I'm just saying, when you hit the big time, sometimes you need to go with that huge agency.
Yes. Jalen, just as a little bit of advice, just don't come out with any pro Joe Biden stuff. I don't want to dislike you, man. I really don't. You're my guy.
Yeah, but I don't think he's political ever.
No, he's very savvy with a lot of things. Like, Jalen Hurts doesn't say much at all, which is actually a good thing, because like in this day and age with athletes always shooting themselves in the foot with political or social things, Jalen Hurts doesn't go down that road. I don't think Embiid does. I haven't heard Bryce Harper do it. So in that regards, here in Philadelphia, we are definitely pretty fortunate. 855-839-1210. The Tucker tapes. We've got details, and that'll lead us into the cut sheet. It's coming up next here on Kayal Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Do you want a beautiful home that's easy to maintain? I've been telling you about a great company that does just that. John Gilgee is here to tell you in his own words. Take it away, my friend.
Hello, it's John from Rhino Shield, reminding you that spring is here and Rhino Shield is ready to help you paint your home for the last time. Our permanent exterior house paint is not ordinary paint. It's a ceramic house coating that goes on like paint and looks like paint, but is guaranteed for 25 years. If your home's exterior isn't looking as good as you'd like, Rhino Shield is the solution you've been looking for. It's affordable because you only have to paint one last time, and it protects your home with a durable and waterproof coating that goes on any exterior surface. Find out why so many of your neighbors are choosing the permanent paint solution from Rhino Shield by calling to schedule your free estimate today at 844-RHINO-99. That's 844-744-6699.
This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
How would you like to have Joel Embiid, Charles Barkley, and Chip Snapper at your next event? Hire Joe Conklin, the man of 1,000 voices for corporate events and private parties.
We hired Joe Conklin, a comedian. The guy's fantastic.
We hired Joe for our sales meeting, and he was hilarious. He had everyone from our top management down to the peons cracking up laughing.
We hired Joe Conklin, so we did not stop laughing for the whole show.
Hire Joe Conklin now for corporate events and private parties. Go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com.
It was the day we all feared. The stock market went down and then kept going.
2008, when the markets lost over 50% of their value. But that was over a decade ago. Today, it's not so painful. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group calls that financial amnesia. When you forget the pain of losing half your savings, and more importantly, ignore the fact that it can happen again. A complimentary consultation from Retire Ready Financial Group can show you where you stand now before the next market pullback. You're much closer to retirement than you were in 2008. Don't let it happen again. Call Jim Cipriotti at 610-894-7415 for a complimentary consultation. That's 610-894-7415 or online at retirereadyfg.com. You can forget where you put your keys, your glasses, or even your car. Don't forget to protect your retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. When planning your summer vacation, pick a destination close to where you live to limit your use of fuel. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Before I tell you about the Kentucky Derby happening this Saturday, let me just tell you that the 76ers at Boston tonight at 8 o'clock, Sixers plus 9.5. That is my pick for tonight's game. FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, is the only sportsbook app where you can bet the Kentucky Derby, and it's happening this Saturday. Right now, all customers can get a no-sweat Derby bet of up to $20. That means you'll get up to $20 back in your win bet if your win bet doesn't win. I love the FanDuel app. So bet America's #1 race this Saturday with America's #1 sportsbook. Just visit racing.fanduel.com/Greg for your chance to get a no-sweat Derby bet of up to $20 this Saturday for the Kentucky Derby. That's racing.fanduel.com/Greg. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT, 21 and over, and reside in PA. Offer valid on a first Derby win wager. Verified FD Racing account required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable racing site credit that expires on June 12th, 2023. Restrictions apply. See terms at racing.fanduel.com. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Kayal Company, 7:39. It's a Wednesday morning as we get closer to what's on the cut sheet. That's coming up in just about 5 minutes. Tony Bruno at 8:20. And we are, if you're watching on YouTube, the boys in the back are efforting right now to iron out the logistics of Tony Bruno not only joining us for your listening pleasure, but with their camera down in the great state of Florida in his studios, efforting to get Tony to join via YouTube as well.
Is efforting a word?
I don't know. That's what they always say. We're efforting in the industry. We're efforting in the business to get the following guest on.
Sounds good.
I don't know, but I'm not the grammar police, so
I know.
I'm sure Twitter will correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, they definitely will.
They definitely will. 855-839-1210 is the phone number. So is this a revealing of truth or is this a tarnish job? Because I think Media Matters, which we've talked about on this show yesterday a little bit, and Fox News are kind of maybe working in cahoots. Just a theory I might have to kind of tarnish Tucker Carlson in order to further vindicate and validate and justify their decision to get rid of the most watched guy on all of cable news. So the fallout from Tucker Carlson's Fox News ouster continues, and it has led to the leak of videos showing crass comments that the host made off the air. Now, full disclosure, believe it or not, folks, in the world of media, when the microphone goes off, sometimes talent have some choice words to say to individuals. I've worked in sports radio long enough to be around big-time egomaniacs that would go off and maybe throw headphones from time to time.
By the way, Dawn, as a veteran news reporter, when the cameras went off on local TV stations, everybody were choir boys, right? Everybody just, said the Lord's Prayer after the...
Right.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think one of my funniest, like I would say, oh, sugar, which is a Southern little thing, but, that I stole because that's just a good habit.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my funniest stories was because we wear wireless mics because we're moving around in the TV studio. And so I ran to the bathroom. So Eric Klein, who I think still is at Fox, he's like, Dawn, I turned your mic. I was like, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't need to be mic'd up in the potty.
Doing the potty dance.
Right.
Yeah, it's like that scene in Naked Gun where Leslie Nielsen went to the bathroom and he was still mic'd up.
So in the days after Carlson was fired from the network, multiple reports claimed that his ouster was in part fueled by network leadership learning, as the New York Times put it, of highly offensive and crude remarks that Carlson has made. The Times reported that they reviewed some off-air footage of Carlson talking about whether his post-menopausal fans will approve of his looks, as well as another video where he commented that someone else's girlfriend was yummy. Well, the liberal watchdog Media Matters has now obtained and published those videos, and we have 3 of the audio clips. If you're watching on YouTube, you will also see the video clips that you could actually get from Media Matters and other websites. So this comes on the heels after the story was published on Monday, leaking footage of Carlson, which we played for you a few days ago on this show, trashing Fox's Fox Nation, which is the network's streaming platform, saying it's garbage and nobody subscribes to it. Those were Tucker Carlson's words. But let's start with the first one. Here is Tucker Carlson apparently talking about somebody else's girlfriend being yummy.
You know what? I'm not qualified on that score, I will say. I thought his girlfriend was kind of yummy. Just kidding, in case this is being pulled off the bird. Yeah, the bird. Hey, Media Matters for America. Go f*** yourself. That's the first thing I want to say tonight. Second thing is, totally kidding. I don't even know what his girlfriend looks like. And if I did, I would not find her yummy.
Is anybody offended by that?
No.
No.
Okay. And I'm not surprised by that either. The only thing that I am surprised by any of this is why are they still recording when?
Oh, they do that all the time.
Yeah,
This is if you ever do television. What he's referring to?
Yes.
You're not only in the studio in your local station. The general manager, was this CBS? Both CBS and Fox. They would punch up the studio so that they could see the studio feed of the anchors and to see if the anchors were like blasting the GM while they're in the studio chatting amongst themselves.
It's funny you say that because I have a story when I was doing sports for the Odyssey station in Atlanta during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Our competition, the other sports station in Atlanta, there was rumors, and I don't know if they were ever confirmed or verified because I didn't work there and it really didn't matter to me, that the program director put a microphone underneath the host's chair in the studio.
That's a great idea.
And he always wanted to hear what the talent were saying about all station gossip.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Don't you get any ideas?
Engineering, if you're listening, install that tomorrow, please. Thank you.
But if you, two-party consent to record, but if you're in that format, it's considered a quote-unquote public place. And if that's in every studio, then, that's par for the workplace. So to Tucker Carlson, when he refers to the bird, he's on the satellite. So anybody within the station group across the country could feasibly see that. So anybody could have recorded on that. So somebody here in Philadelphia could have recorded on that.
So persistence over resistance on YouTube says it's AI, it's not real. I disagree with that. There's nothing incriminating about this at all.
Yeah, it's
nothing.
It's very petty.
If they're going to really go that route and do AI, then they're going to make him say horrendous things. Calling somebody's girlfriend yummy, and telling Media Matters to go F themselves.
And it sounds totally like something Tucker Carlson, because Tucker Carlson, he's got a weird laugh. I think he does weird things. Like, he's a little bit of an oddball.
Yeah.
So him saying somebody's girlfriend is yummy feels relatively on brand, in my opinion, having seen enough of Tucker Carlson to think he's as brilliant as he is. He's a little kooky.
Well, to your point, he's making fun of the fact that maybe people think he would say something like that, and he says, "I don't even know what his girlfriend looks like."
Right.
So it's on video too. So if it were AI, they would have had to have altered this, not only the audio, but Greg, if you're watching on YouTube, you could see it.
Right.
So I think it is quirky enough that it probably was him. I think it's funny and it makes him more actually likable.
Yeah. It actually makes me upset, peed off at the producer or whoever who released that.
Yeah.
To Media Matters. Dude, what are you doing?
What do you gain from that?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I agree. Here's clip 2, Tucker Carlson and Piers Morgan before they sat down to do an interview, and they end up talking about sexual techniques.
Oh, boy.
Take a listen.
Thrilled that you're doing this. I've gotten more calls from people about it.
Oh, that's great. Well, I got to say, when I came to New York a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't believe how welcoming and friendly everybody was. It was fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah, they really mean it from the owners on down.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool to see it. I like that. It's a good, people are nice in this company, I think. They've always been nice to me anyway.
I completely agree. Everyone's been very, very friendly and very nice, and I really appreciate it. But thank you so much for coming on. It's fantastic.
I bet that doesn't change. Of course.
Yeah. It's just great to have you on my show. I've been on yours enough times. It's great.
I think it's totally cool. So let's, if we're going to talk about sex, I'd love to hit some of the fine points of technique. But it's your show. It's totally up to you.
We can certainly talk about your sexual technique, especially after your tanning testicles last week.
Not mine. We'll speak in more general terms, but I've got something to add.
Ew.
So I'm not so sure what's so damning about
Nothing.
that. Two
Nothing.
dudes talking about sex. Shocking.
That's so dumb.
Yes.
I can't believe that these are the smoking guns that they have, and they're going to release.
Let's play the last one. This is Tucker Carlson talking about his appearance and whether or not he'll get the approval of post-menopausal fans of his. Take a listen.
I can never assess my appearance. I wait for my postmenopausal fans to weigh in.
IFB. What? They want to control me from afar? Okay, I'm putting the leash on. You can... it, we'll do it live! I got you, baby.
There you go.
This absolutely does.
If I'm a judge, I'm like dismissing all of this. This is like, not even relevant.
I would actually make the argument. Well, I mean, this isn't. There's nothing damning here.
It, we'll do it live.
But if I don't like Tucker Carlson, this might make me like him more.
I know, right?
Because he doesn't seem like a robot. He
No.
seems like a
Kind of a common dude.
And I hate to tell you, women, but that's how dudes talk.
Yeah.
That's how guys talk. I'm sorry to say it, but we do.
Wait a minute. Postmenopausal, men go through menopause too. There's menopause.
Yeah, I know.
So if somebody questioned me, say I was referring to both men and women.
Yeah.
A, B, does this really trigger anybody? I think it's funny and silly. And what you have to remember, because some people might say, "Oh, that's so unprofessional."
Mm-hmm.
He's up on this bird. The problem is when you're doing these shows that he did, and he reported, like, as he said, he wasn't in studio necessarily. He has a home studio.
Yeah.
And so this is hours and hours on end. And so you're sometimes just like killing time.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting about this, and they're discussing this right now on the YouTube chat, what's interesting about this, if you're watching the videos, is that he's talking about this as somebody is doing his hair.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy that adjusts his chair.
Yep.
It's like, boy, we need stuff like that in radio.
He's got a staff.
Anthony, come in here and adjust my hair.
Daniel, the camera's too close to my face. Can you pan back? All right, so that'll do it for the Tucker tapes for what those are worth.
The Tucker tapes.
The Tucker tapes.
Come on.
7:50 Wednesday morning. What's on the cut sheet?
What's on the cut sheet?
James Angst on YouTube says, I now like Tucker more and Fox less. Whoever was thinking that this was going to have some, negative impact on him is sorely mistaken.
Yeah. Tucker's probably sitting back, firing up a cigar right now and saying, thank you, Media Matters, for making me look more relatable.
And that weasel producer at Fox News.
Yep.
Should be tarred and feathered. What's on the cut sheet on this? Wednesday is brought to you by Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships matter. Cherry Hill Volvo strives to do what's right. They work hard to match you with the perfect Volvo and always go the extra mile for their customers. Judy, Theoseph, and the entire team look forward to meeting you. Check them out on Route 70 in Cherry Hill. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships matter. Thank you, Cherry Hill Volvo, for always sponsoring the ever-important What's on the cut sheet on this Wednesday. So, a woman was testifying yesterday to the Louisiana House of Representatives against HB 463. It's a bill that would ban pediatric gender mutilation.
Mm-hmm.
She says in this clip here that she knew her daughter was actually a boy because of her food choices. Her food choices were odd. Oh. They were always raw green vegetables.
Okay.
So therefore,
had to be a boy.
Yeah. And therefore we needed this surgery because of food choices.
Yeah, which is nonsense.
This woman should have her children taken away. Just my opinion.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Which, by the way, I'd give you more credence to your crazy theory if your daughter was eating a lot of steak, and you said, man, that's what men do. Men love steak. But nope, men love green vegetables. Has to be a boy.
So bizarre.
Had anxiety and would never sleep, and we couldn't figure out what the problem was. We took him to specialists and neurologists, and he had brain scans trying to figure out why he couldn't sleep. Then as he grew, he got to sleeping, but his food choices were odd. They were always like green vegetables, raw green vegetables, which, if you know kids, most kids don't like to eat those things.
Oh my God.
And then the precocious puberty. All of those things, once we figured out that he was transgender, when he came to us and told us that he was transgender, when we went back and realized that the pattern of everything that he had experienced as a child, including eating green vegetables because that boosts testosterone, were just methods of his body trying to become who he was meant to be. His brain does not match his physiology.
His brain does not match his physiology, and I came to the conclusion very early on in his life that my daughter liked too many green vegetables, so she had to be a boy. I can relate to this directly. When my daughters were born at a very early age, my one daughter, Mia, loved meats. She loved cheeses. She likes carbs. She if she could have a bagel for breakfast every morning, she would. My other daughter, Olivia, is infatuated with salad. She can't eat enough salad and vegetables and broccoli and corn, and she loved them as a 2- and 3-year-old. We even have a picture of her falling asleep eating a salad in her high chair. I never once had the thought that since my daughter Olivia loved lettuce and broccoli as a 2-year-old, that she was probably a boy trapped in a girl's body. And I never went to my wife, Kristen, and I said, you know what? Olivia's eating a lot of vegetables. Are we sure she's a girl? What do you think about a transgender procedure here?
This mom is looking for any little thing, including a string bean, to show her a sign that her child is trans. This mom is, to me, is a threat to her child.
Yeah.
And she needs some mental health help. And it's outrageous to me that she's testifying before a group of serious individuals who sit there and listen to this and say anything other than, ma'am, Child Services is going to help you out with your child, and we're going to get you to a psychiatrist because you need help.
And this is Bill HB 463, I believe.
Yes.
Which would make a ban against these procedures for youth.
Pediatric gender mutilation.
I'm in support of Bill HB 463.
Obviously, these people are not, and that's why they are testifying. This lady who testified says that she had a gut feeling that her daughter was a boy when she liked to play with male toys when she was 18 months old and is now going to start gender-affirming care at 11 years old.
Oh
Chelsea loved playing with Legos.
Yep.
Must be a boy.
By the way, at 18 months old, they don't know what the hell they're playing with.
No.
They just see it and
they
they're
just
like,
and they stick the toy in their mouth.
Exactly. All right, here we go.
And then I was Christmas shopping for them. They were 18 months old, and I bought one of those toy tool benches. And I was.
By the way, this woman
Crazy.
already sounds like a nutcase.
Yeah, was this recorded on TikTok? She sounds frantic.
I'm not trying to diminish the mental health crisis, but look at this woman. I mean, she's just nuts. And the fact that anybody takes her seriously and actually formulated legislation and uses her as the face of that legislation is also crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was making the joke that, well, when one of them comes to me and says they're a man when they're 18, I can't say I didn't see it coming, just because they kind of did draw to boy toys, and I was just making a joke. But I am so glad I said it out loud, because I have that in my mind now that at 18 months old, something somewhere was telling me what he knew all along. Sure, of course. Okay. But so when he could start talking, he articulated to me that he was a boy. Mommy, I'm a boy. Mommy, I'm a boy. And both of my kids did, Mommy, I'm a puppy, all that. It was very different. And we drug our feet on it because, what? You know, it's normal to not understand that, obviously. So we saw therapists and we saw doctors, and ultimately we came to know what he has known all along, which is that he really is a boy. He really is. And I will be starting gender affirming care for him. He's been seeing doctors for years, and it is a very long process. They are very thorough.
So I'm going to interrupt you just for a second. I'm going to give you a few extra seconds to prove that. You can have it up.
Aren't they cute, though? Okay.
Thank God. Please cut her off.
Okay,
So,
I'm not giving you that much extra.
Okay.
They bring up a picture of
disclosure,
her kids who are...
Oh, she's got props and
By
exhibits, the
way,
whole thing.
I hate this because her kids look adorable,
Yeah.
and whatever they're going through, I mean, oh my God.
And
like,
if you're watching this video on YouTube of her,
Yeah.
I mean, she's very animated. The hands are going.
Yes.
She's smart. She looks like she's putting on a performance.
Well, and that's just it. She's thrilled when you see her visually, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But when you hear it in her voice, it's as if it's like Christmas morning.
Right.
She's thrilled to be making news, and she's performing, and she's been practicing this probably in front of a mirror. and pimping her kids for her 1 minute of fame.
Yeah.
It's sick to me. And I hope to God, she said it's a thorough process. So I hope to God these doctors, I don't know, are they giving them, what are they doing here? Are they giving these little kids like invasive medicines or surgery?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it seems to
Oh,
be.
my
All
goodness.
because her child decided to play with male toys at 18 months old, so therefore, and says that she's a boy.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is where like a responsible, sane adult and parent steps in and says, well, there's a lot of things you would like to do, little Johnny, but I'm not going to allow you to do it on the better half of my judgment for your future and livelihood. And we're going to get you some help that you need. And again, I've said this for a long time. You're an adult. You want to do this at 18 or older? Go ahead and knock yourself out. Like if when you're 18, if you're old enough to die for your country in war, you're old enough then to chop off a breast or a penis. That's fine by me. Have a blast. I just think it's ridiculous that you would do this to a kid, and knowing the irreparable damages. Yeah. Like this is pretty close to permanent.
Raphael on YouTube says Munchausen mama. That is for any of you that don't know what Munchausen syndrome is. It's basically where a mother keeps their children sick, so they have to take care of them, right?
Yes.
It makes them feel wanted and needed, and yeah. All right, just a little bit more from this person.
This is a slightly older photo because now they are preteens, and taking a photo for mom where they both smile is like, nah, that's lame. So now that he is almost 11 and starting puberty, we are discussing puberty blockers. And what that would do, it would prevent him from growing the body of a woman. Because I promise you, he's not a woman. He shouldn't be in a woman's body. And honestly, I don't think he could survive if we forced him into it. I really don't. So we will find that care for him. I will go to the ends of the earth if I had to for either of these children. And we'll probably just go to New York, not the ends of the earth. But if this bill passes. So please don't make us travel for doctor's appointments. Don't make us consider leaving this state.
Well, if you've seen New York lately, it is kind of like the end of the earth. But, I just a real general entry-level question to all of this madness. When did this floodgate open with these stories? This is nothing new from the standpoint of some of these parents wanting to go through with these procedures for their children. But really, when did this become such a mainstream trending talking point? Because you literally can't go a day without seeing a story like this in the news cycle, on social media, or on any type of website or any show that you listen to or watch. Is this something just post-pandemic where, kaboom, it just became a full blazing inferno?
It is interesting to me that because we literally have stories like this every day. Mm-hmm. And I do think a lot of it was the pandemic, because I think a lot of it was parents being home with their kids, seeing what kind of curriculum they had, seeing, all of this firsthand.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong.
No, I think you're right, but I also think the Munchausen comment is astute.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there should be legislation that, for example, you don't tout your child's medical procedures on national news.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't children have the right
to privacy?
To some privacy. We wouldn't. If a juvenile is accused of a crime, even if it's murder, we often are not initially in the media supposed to release the photo or the name of that juvenile.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we are parading juveniles
That's a good point.
in national news and saying, oh, Johnny is really Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
And so where's the privacy for these kids? This is about their medical identity as well. I just think we're going down a horrifying, nightmarish road for America's children, for these parents to pimp out their kids for the fame and be allowed to do this.
Also, at what point did it become, there were kids, and Nick, Dawn, you guys probably remember too, when you were in school, there were kids I can remember 6th, 7th grade that I looked at, and looking back now, I can say, oh yeah, they turned out, of course they were gay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't remember anybody that was like, oh, that's definitely a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So it does seem, unless nobody could talk about it at the time, or this is a new thing now where all of a sudden these kids are like, well, okay, maybe he's gay, or maybe he just maybe he wants to be a woman.
Yeah.
Like when did we go to that extreme?
It's almost like they're just, trying to elevate these people that are dealing with this mental health crisis and turn them into like celebrity status influencers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, here's how I can make my kid famous by publicly, trotting him out in a court and showing pictures and parading him around talk shows, and then all of a sudden they're viewed as heroes within that small little niche community.
By the way, we're streaming live on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. If you're watching now, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and also hit the like button. Ken John says, we are living in a time somewhere between the Twilight Zone and the Emperor Has No Clothes. I agree with that.
Hasn't Been Sober says, I played with dolls as a kid. I had G.I. Joe and the girl next door had Barbie. G.I. Joe would come home on leave, beat up Ken, and take advantage of Barbie.
Oh, my God. So if you really want to make your point against this bill, Nick, Dawn, you bring out a drag queen.
Okay.
A drag queen testifies to the Louisiana House of Representatives bill against the bill to ban pediatric gender changes by coming on and saying this.
I'm trans. I am a big gay baby. My pronouns are they, them. What are yours? I'm so happy that I'm speaking right after you. That was so beautiful. So, vote no on HB 463. Full stop.
There it is. Full stop.
Mm-hmm. My pronouns are drink bourbon. How about that? I love too, by the way, with a follow-up of, what are yours? like it's like, hey, I'm Nick Kayal. I enjoy going to the gym, playing golf, and my hobbies are drinking bourbon and doing talk radio. What are yours? And he said he's a big gay baby.
Big gay baby.
So you can be an adult, but yet you can identify.
Well, let me ask
as
you,
an infant.
Let me ask you. Fest guy on YouTube says, Greg, get a haircut. Okay. Look, let me be me, okay? I'm not a big gay baby. I am a straight baby that likes my long hair. And as long as I have it, I'm going to keep it.
And by the way, my thing's down.
Tired of, now it's up.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of a segment!
Yeah, so take that.
I'm tired of everybody telling me to cut my hair. I'm going to grow it longer out of spite.
I love your hair.
Thank you, baby.
Well, while we're getting criticism, Mike Opelka reaches out on Twitter and he says, yep, I just checked dictionary.com and found this. Nope, not a word. No results found for the word efforting.
Oh.
Speaking of finding hobbies and something to do in your spare time.
But I sent you, now I have to find it. I emailed you guys. Efforting is one of those new culture words.
Yeah.
So it's something that people, use that terminology nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a fad word.
I've heard it used in radio when you're trying to get somebody on their show, and like in about 22 minutes, we're going to be efforting to get Tony Bruno's video and audio synced up, which will be a train wreck, or we'll be efforting.
I sent you an article. It says efforting is an awkward new word that tries too hard.
Efforting's my new awkward word. What's yours?
By the way, John Cozen is calling me out saying Greg's probably bald. I'm not bald. Look at right there.
Yeah.
Look at see?
I am bald.
My Lord.
All right.
Oh my God.
Silly.
Sorry.
So, but going back to the trans thing, essentially what they are saying is you can be and identify as anything you would like in this lifetime. You can be 40 years old and identify as a 5-year-old. You can be a man and identify as a woman. Or as we heard, and apparently it was all a ruse, the Republican from Indiana, who is a straight white man, tried to identify as a Native American lesbian female, I believe, which was the story we talked about a few days ago, which just goes to show you the levels of lunacy going on with these people, that they're claiming that they can be things that they're not. Like, I can't sit here and say, I identify as that camera. No, I'm a human being. No matter what I try to do, I will never be a camera. And yet these people try to spin it that way.
Yeah.
It's really a warped, sick view of the world.
But what is the motive here? In other words, most kids, even if you say to your child, and they say, I really want pasta for dinner. You say, okay, you can have spaghetti or you can have linguine. Those are your choices.
Mm-hmm.
So kids don't know, right? They don't know what they don't know.
Right.
And so if you have a kid who says, Mommy, I'm a girl. Okay, great. Fine. Go ahead.
Yeah.
They don't know that there's this surgery. They don't know that there are blockers. They don't know that until the crazy mom tells them that.
I used to run around the house. My mom told me this when I was 5 years old, claiming that I was Superman.
Oh yeah.
And I would put like a bath towel as my cape.
Yep.
And I would try to jump off the couch and fly.
Yep.
And spoiler alert, I never flew.
You couldn't. You couldn't.
No, gravity kicked in.
But whatever's going on, look at Bruce Jenner, who's now Caitlyn Jenner. Look at Dr. Rachel Levine. These individuals have had good lives. They had kids, and then they made their transition actually in middle age. So there's no evidence, is there, that the vast majority of the folks who are trans, do they have a horrible life? Let these kids be kids and let it. It's like the Paul McCartney, let it be.
Yeah.
Just let it be. And so if they want to run around in a dress, fine. Do what you're going to do.
Yeah.
No judgment, no bullying, ever. Acceptance, love them. And maybe it turns out that they do transition. Maybe they don't.
Yeah.
Why do they have to go to surgery?
Yeah.
That's
my goodness.
That's my question. Like, why surgery? If they're gay or whatever, cool. But let them figure that out before we're like, well,
don't send them for mutilation.
Yes.
And everyone's like, oh, it's such a harsh word, mutilation. No, that's exactly what it is.
We're gonna look back on this time. Like, what were we thinking as parents? Because this is, to your point, everybody, what you do as an adult, I could give two, what's about.
Right.
You do you. Don't bother me. I won't bother you. But when we're inflicting this on children, when they don't even know, I mean, look, you can talk to psychologists and stuff like that, and they say that especially guys, our brains don't fully develop until like 26.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
or 39 for me.
46.
But seriously, like I have no idea what I had no idea what I was doing at 11.
I just want to mention something you brought up there. You said, there's going to be a point in time where we look back on this and say, what were we thinking? I don't know that moment's ever coming. I don't know that there's going to be a sudden awakening of, oh my God, we really were insane.
Yeah.
Like I hope this is not the beginning of this onslaught of trans procedures for children, but I don't think the pendulum is ever going to swing back. Not on this category.
I think it will when these kids grow up and sue the doctors who prescribed these strong medications or perform the surgeries, which mean they can never have kids and that sort of thing. Then when it goes to the courts and hospitals and doctors and institutions are being sued for millions of dollars, then everybody will take notice. I'll just say my cousin Eric, second cousin, his father died when he was young. Eric went through this phase where he dressed up in pink, his sister's dresses. Nobody cared. This is my family, like the Scandinavian side.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, let it be. And Eric was great. Eric, you're beautiful. Nobody cared. Everybody supported him. He's a firefighter now. He has a wife and kids. Whatever he was going to be, he was going to be. But nobody immediately said, oh, you need surgery. You need puberty blockers. I think that could have been traumatizing in and of itself.
Yeah.
By the way, the debate on YouTube we're here having this serious debate about these important topics. They're debating my hair color.
Yeah. I would say dirty blonde. That's just my.
It's blonde. People are like, is it red? No, it's just the lighting that makes it look red. My hair's not red. It's blonde. It's always been blonde. Yeah. It's natural too, baby. Come on. Anyway,
all natural.
Secretary of the Interior Deb Haaland testified yesterday, and Josh Hawley asked her about the U.S. becoming too dependent on China. She said something stunning in this that is just, it's really how this administration feels about blue-collar workers.
Jobs for blue-collar workers in this nation are valuable resources. The livelihood and well-being of American families are valuable resources. The ability of America to have our own industry and not be dependent on China is a valuable resource. Why should those things for millions of Americans be sacrificed in favor of your agenda for radical climate change?
Senator, I know that there's like 1.9 jobs for every American in the country right now, so I know there's a lot of jobs.
Wait a minute. You're telling me we've got too many jobs in the country?
Well, I'm saying that we don't have enough people. That's why we are having a hard time finding folks to work at our department. But
wait, you're telling me that we have too many jobs for blue-collar work? Have you seen the number of jobs we have lost in this country to China in the last 20 years? Do you know where those jobs come from? Over 3 million jobs have gone to China. Do you know where those jobs have come from? They've come out of Midwestern towns like the ones I represent. They are blue-collar workers, and you're sitting here and telling me that we have too many jobs in this country? Are you serious?
These people are delusional. Number one, the Republican Party has never resonated more with the middle-class, blue-collar working man than they do right now, because this administration and the left-wing fringe that has taken over the Democratic Party is basically telling you, we value China more than the United States. We value Ukraine's independence more than blue-collar, middle-class working Americans. And we basically cater to all of the fringe, small, vocal minority groups in this country. The Biden administration does not give a hoot about middle-class, blue-collar workers in this country. So basically, if you're the everyday 9-to-5 guy, straight white cis man, 42 years old, they care about you the least of anybody, perhaps on the planet.
Peter Ducey yesterday had some back and forth with Karine Jean-Pierre about the border. We touched on this a little bit in the 6 o'clock hour, but let me actually play the audio. Ducey asked KJP, if the border is secure, then why are we sending 1,500 active duty U.S. troops down there? It's a great question.
Yes, it is.
If the border is secure, as the administration has said, then why would we need to send 1,500 active duty U.S. troops down there?
Because we need more work. We need more work needs to be done, Peter. We put forth a comprehensive immigration legislation, and Congress, Republicans in Congress refuse to act. And so the president has used the tools that he has in front of him to prepare ahead of Title 42 lifting. As you know, that is happening in the next couple of days. And so we are putting DHS, Department of State, is putting forth processes to deal with the changes that are going to be ahead of us. And so that is what's important here, and that's what you've been seeing for the past several months. You've heard from DHS, you've heard from the State Department on what we're putting in place to deal with the border once Title 42 lifts.
And you got to love the fact that they're sending 1,500 of troops down there, active members, for administrative purposes only, as we discussed in the Big Take and in the first half hour of the show.
What a load of...
Yeah.
Oh, I want to curse so bad.
Well,
Can I curse, please?
they are armed, but we can only use the arms in regards to self-defense.
Yeah. By the way, streaming live on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Join the hundreds that are watching us right now. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and when you try and help us get to 3,000 subscribers. I want to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the week. So we can do that. We're sitting at about 2.36 right now, so help us get there. One more from the Deuce Man. He's talking about the illegal migration coming down by more than 90%.
Yeah, that claim.
Asking where that number came from.
You said yesterday that when it comes to illegal migration, you've seen it come down by more than 90%. Where did that number come from? Because CBP is telling us the number is.
I hear you. I'm about to answer.
136,000 people more.
I'm about to answer you.
Year so
if the dramatics could come down just a little bit. If the dramatics could come down a little bit.
What's dramatic about asking a question about?
Okay, I'm going to answer. So I was speaking to the parolee program. As you know, the president put in place a parolee program to deal with certain countries on ways that we can limit illegal migration, and we have seen the data has shown us that it has gone down by more than 90%. That was what I was speaking to. No, we're going to go. We're going to move. Go ahead.
I'm done with you, Peter. That's enough, Deuce, man.
We got to go. We got to
go. And you can stop the dramatics. No dramatics, Peter.
Where are we moving to?
I was referring to the parolees from Rikers Island. Jesus God. 90%. Do you realize what the total population for the illegal immigrant crisis that we are having would have to drop down to be 90% down?
Mm-hmm.
What's a 90% reduction of 2.3 million?
There we go.
You do the math.
Yeah.
Was it down to like 300,000?
I don't know.
I mean, God,
It's a lot.
where do you think? I mean, does she think we're stupid? Does she think the American
Yes.
public is dumb?
Yes.
No, that's enough,
Yes.
Peter. I've answered you.
Robert Schwartz on YouTube says the BS meter just went off the scale.
My God.
And you know that by, okay, we need to move on now.
Yes. This is what I said earlier in the show, the arrogance of this administration. Like, if you were a very accomplished this is really goes in any walk of life, in any profession. If you're great at what you do and you have proven it and you have earned it, you can be arrogant.
Yep.
But when you stink at your profession, you have no right to be arrogant in said profession that you have not put any skins on the wall up for.
Michael the Wolf on YouTube, is that your actual hair color? Asking about it. They're still debating my hair.
Dude, they love your hair.
Yes, it is my actual hair color. I do not dye it. It is my actual hair color. I promise you. My Lord.
Speaking of beautiful hair, when I used to produce for Bruno, there was we had a story, like one of these random crazy stories where a man said that he found like Sasquatch or something in the woods, and he was like from like the South, and he had a big Southern drawl, and he's like, yeah, he was talking to a reporter and a cameraman, and we played and we used it as like some of our sound bites and our drops on our board, and he was like, yeah, he had beautiful hair. We got to find that. Bruno probably has it on his soundboard. We can use that for you.
And party lips, too.
Yeah.
Boy.
Greg Stocker, you got beautiful hair, Maya.
Speaking of Bruno, we should get to Dawn so we can get to him.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, 8:20, right on the dot. We got Bruno's coming up in about 5 minutes, but right now, let's get to Dawn Stensland's Big 3 at 8.
It's the Big 3 at 8 on Kayal Company.
Yeah, we do. Big 3. We are sponsored this morning. We are sponsored by Catholic Philly, the Rite Aid beer distributor. People are upset about this. And near the Home Depot in Clifton Heights, Upper Darby, Delco, robbed by a gunman. So Upper Darby police superintendent speaking out, saying this guy comes in wearing a mask, held up the store at gunpoint to steal beer.
Was it Bud Light?
Yeah, hopefully it was the good stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we don't have word. Was it Yingling? So they've got this armed and dangerous suspect who stole the beer. That's what this guy was after. Crazy story from Brazil, and the images are gross, but at least 8 people are injured, but they survived a piranha attack. It was in Brazil, but the victims suffering bloody wounds. It's like one of those horrible movies. The fish are said to have torn into their legs at a beach resort in Taruma-Aku, a region that lies to the north of a city that sits on the Amazon River. So,
Taruma-Aku.
ooh,
Okay.
sounds like a beautiful place.
Sounds refreshing.
Yeah.
But welcome to Taruma-Aku, where the piranhas have sharp teeth.
Yes, they do.
It sounds like a horror movie, but I just thought I'd put that one in there.
Right.
We also have number 3. I'm just going to put number 3 is about golfing, because I know you have a golf date. Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, with Bill from the B Morning Show.
All right.
Yeah.
So because Nick Kayal had a nice little
with Bill from the B Morning Show.
Yeah.
B101.
From B101.
No, of course.
By the
I
way,
know who you're talking
does,
about.
Does he not have a last name?
Tarfo or something.
I don't know if
Okay.
he wants that out there.
Well, he never.
No, I'm teasing.
No, he
Totally
never
teasing.
like even on like the website. He
Yeah.
just goes as Bill.
Bill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think moving forward, I'm just gonna go as Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just rebrand the show. Get Kayal. It's just Nick. Who does the morning show? Nick.
Well, since you and Bill are going to be out golfing on Friday, which is going to be a beautiful day for it, by the way.
About time.
But there's word of golfing. So a golf boom, if you will, the official sport of social distance. So during the pandemic, the golf boom boomed. So they used geolocation data near golf courses in the United States. Researchers finding that 83% more golf games were being played weekdays in 2022 than pre-pandemic.
I remember when I was in Nashville in the summer of 2020, and we're getting ready to tee off, and I'm looking around at my course, and I said, dude, this is bad. And the guy next to me, he goes, yeah, I know, man. You see how many people have died from COVID? I said, no, not that. There's too many damn people out here today. We're growing the game. I don't need all these people out here. We're going to be out here for hours.
And you're right. Every course, every minute, according to the new research, says every course, every minute, they are jam-packed throughout the week, weekdays. And so there are no more of these quiet Tuesdays or Wednesdays sneaking out to the golf course.
But, Dawn, here's my only rule of thumb. If you're golfing and you're in front of me and the group ahead of me, I don't care if you suck. Just suck fast.
Wait, what?
Just move. We'll move quickly.
Exactly.
Did you say suck fast?
Yeah, you can pull that.
Catholic Philly is our sponsor.
Speaking of, let's go to the
Catholic Philly. Stay up to date with the latest Catholic news, because that might be a sin, by signing up for Catholic Philly's weekly newsletter. It contains a lot of cool local stories, national and world Catholic news, inspiring feature stories, and much more every week direct to your email box. So just visit CatholicPhilly.com so you can learn more. Thank you, Catholic Philly, for sponsoring our Big 3 at 8.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. It is 8:25 here on a Wednesday as we send it down to Florida, a man who never sucks, but sometimes goes fast or slow, depending on the occasion. He's the great Tony Bruno. What up, dude?
Wow. That may have been the greatest transition to a sponsorship read in the history of broadcasting.
Wow, look at Tony Bruno is live on YouTube with us now. Very nice.
Making a rare YouTube appearance. Last time I was on YouTube, I think I was being banned on Twitter. By the way, we have an update. We have an update. I know you've been asking.
Yes.
What day is it? Yes, I'm still permanently banned, and it looks like it is a permanent ban. Day 44 of my exile, my banishment from Twitter for violent speech. And we still have not identified what violent speech is as I await my execution, because I've already been tried and convicted.
Yeah.
Yes, you have.
Now I'm waiting to be on death. By the way, I don't want to talk about hair, because the guy doesn't have hair.
Right.
I was wondering, not about the hair color. I was wondering if that was his real hair first. Is that your real hair, man?
That is my real hair, yes. I love that everybody's questioning my hair today.
Yeah.
What is happening?
I know.
Yes, it's my real hair.
This is great.
I was trying to find that cut from the guy the Bigfoot guy in North Carolina we used to play. He had beautiful hair. He was like 10 feet tall. That guy.
So you have officially been banned from Twitter. So they deemed you a threat to democracy? Is that official?
I'm a threat to democracy.
Okay.
Karine Jean-Pierre will be addressing it later on today when Peter Ducey asks her another question, and hopefully she won't be so. What was the term she used to him? Let's not get over dramatic.
Yes.
Is that what she said?
I've answered your stuff. I'm moving on.
Why do you have to be so dramatic?
Or she'll say something like this, Tony.
I would refer you to the White House counsel.
She would refer you to the White House counsel.
Even what's her name? What's his name? The Bud Light guy, woman,
Dylan Mulvaney.
Even Dylan Mulvaney's a better actress than this chick. I mean, seriously, it's not my style to criticize, as you know, guys.
No,
Right.
no,
But
no.
has there ever been anyone in any position of power that is as unqualified and as a bold-faced, we talk about liars. Obviously, all PR people lie. All spokespeople lie for their clients. That's what they're paid to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that the media in this country still allows us, and if it wasn't for Peter Ducey, they're like afraid of her.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Ducey's the only person not afraid to ask her questions.
Yeah, because he asks, the pertinent, tough questions that nobody else will throw up there, because all they do is lob up softballs for Karine Jean-Pierre.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it is, because all of the answers are in the binder.
Minnie on YouTube wants to know, Tony, are you on any other social media platform other than Twitter?
I'm on Facebook, but I just check on my family there since nobody calls anybody anymore. So I just go to see whose birthday it is. Like it was Robin's mom's birthday yesterday. So that's how I find out birthdays, engagement parties, anniversaries and that stuff. Isn't that what Facebook's all about? Now, YouTube's been around forever. I have a YouTube channel, but I haven't even used it.
Oh, really?
I got to fire that baby up now.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So
how do I subscribe here? Do I hit subscribe? Does
Yeah.
Robin have to subscribe for me
Hit the
now?
subscribe button on at 1210 WPHT. Hit the subscribe button.
Okay. The one thing though is the two biggest letters that appear on the page are MF. When I look at it, the first thing I see at the bottom of the screen is M-F.
MF 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Meaning weekdays.
I know, but the 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Yeah. Because as Greg
Who
Stocker
created
once
that,
famously
who created
said,
that graphic? That's what I want to know.
I think that was our corporate team. Or maybe Daniel Valdez. I'm not sure. We start at 6 a.m.
all right, so let's get down to the business, Brunos.
Let's get down to the business,
we
yo.
got some good stories to get to. Let's start with the big one of the day, Biden's border patrol problem. So they're sending 1,500 active members of the U.S. military down, but they're only going to be doing administrative tasks. Your thoughts on this kind of this soft, fugazi dispatching of troops to our southern border?
So we didn't want they were criticizing. I don't want to talk about the other guy, Trump, because this isn't about Trump. This is about the whole situation where you got to send. We can't send troops. We had horses whipping people, all these other hysteria. Now all of a sudden, and here's the worst part, guy, and you know this, you just talked about it not that long ago. We're sending active military troops. Will they be wearing will they have guns and AR-15s, which they don't actually use, down there, and then they put them down so they walk into an office all in full, all riot gear or military gear, and then as soon as they walk into the office, they take off all their guns and weapons and put it on the table and say, okay, let's get to work. Give me some paperwork here. What do you want me to fill out? That's what this is about.
Yep.
This isn't the National Guard. And the National Guard are military, but, they're not really being sent into a war zone. And this isn't a war zone. But what is the purpose of, if we need more guards, if we need more Border Patrol people, which they say we don't because it's 90%, it's down, right? Isn't it 90%?
Well, that's the claim according to KJP.
Yeah. Can we call her KJP yet? Have we gotten that close?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been calling her that for 7 months. I started calling her that on day one of this show.
By the way,
you
Nick.
down with KJP, though, I guess, is the big question now.
Exactly.
By the way, Nick, Tony probably has on the greatest T-shirt
I see
right
that.
now. It says "crumb bum" on it.
Yes.
Which is one of the greatest
Crumb bum.
sayings. What was that? Frank Rizzo, right? That used to say that all the time.
Yeah, that was Fred's. He said it to a local TV reporter in that walk-up ambush interview many, many years ago. You're a crumb creep coward. It was Stan Borman, I believe the reporter's name was.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And it was on a Sunday morning when Frank Rizzo was walking his dog coming home from church, Catholic church, of course, because Frank Rizzo was a great Catholic man, as someone once said.
Exactly right.
We need some of those drops, some of those Frank Rizzo drops to put into your soundboard now.
Well, do we have any of those? Bruno, do you have any of those?
I should get some.
Well, Robin has some in there. Do you have any of the Frank Rizzo? You're a crumb bum. I don't have them in my little machine now because I have a new Stream Deck that I now use as my sound effects.
Is Robin
so
doing?
I don't have them all loaded in yet.
Is Robin doing some administrative tasks for you right now, Tony?
Robin is the administrator.
When am I not? That's the question.
Look, my Tony Bruno Boulevard sign is still off the wall back there. It's
I see
incredible.
it, yeah.
Got to straighten that up, man. You can't have that.
I need to put my PA hat on to go work on that.
Exactly, yes.
All right.
Robin, do we have any of the Frank Rizzo? I can't believe you guys don't have the great Frank Rizzo rant. You're a crumb creep coward. You're a crumb bum. I want to fight you.
Well,
you're a lush. I can tell you're a lush by just looking at you. Remember that? That was one of the greatest man on the street. Well, he wasn't. He was mayor on the street confrontations you'll ever. Imagine if Karine Jean-Pierre had Frank Rizzo grilling her.
I'm not going to get beyond that.
She's not going to get beyond that, Tony. So the other big story, I got to get your thoughts on this because this is definitely right up your alley. So COVID and the vaccination requirement in this country to enter the United States is going to be lifted in 8 days on May the 11th, leaving great nations like Palau, Indonesia, and other third world countries as the only idiotic nations on the planet still requiring vaccination proof to enter this country. You're a man who got vaccinated and had a lot of, unfortunate side effects.
Your thoughts on them finally realizing it's time to end this charade?
Well, as LeBron James once said before he went out and beat the Warriors in San Francisco in Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals, you know what he said, right?
It's about damn time.
Exactly.
Damn
It is
time.
about damn time. I guess so on March 11th, right? That's the day.
May 11th.
May 11th. I
Yep.
mean the next Thursday.
Mhm.
So now all of a sudden, so that means Djokovic and all these other people who couldn't come in here and play in Miami and other tennis tournaments in this country can now enter the country after May 11th,
Right.
Without having 72,000 injections.
They now have the same rights as those that cross the southern border illegally that don't have to be vaccinated to enter sanctuary cities.
And now that those people know that they don't have to be vaccinated, we have to send the National Guard to desk jobs.
That's right.
Down on. Why do they have to send them to the border for these desk jobs? Why can't they do it from home? Why can't they do it remotely?
Exactly.
What difference does it make if they're not actually doing anything to be military people because they don't want it to look like it's a militarized zone?
Mm-hmm.
When you have thousands and 90% of the people now have made it through. No, 90% of the people have been stopped, so I guess it's not. But I can't keep track of the numbers now anymore.
That's right.
But it's a joke. It's embarrassing. And what else can you say about this?
Mm-hmm.
What else can you say? The use of military to go down there and do desk jobs could be the more. Again, I have to put a list together. You know, I hate lists.
You do.
And polls, Nick. But where we can rank the most embarrassing daily things happening from our government, man. It is absolutely almost laughable. That's how bad it is.
It is.
I have the Frank Rizzo rant. It's only 45 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Oh, let's go to it. Yeah, this is great.
You're a crumb creep. I want to fight you. But you don't have the courage. You're a real crumb bum.
Crumb bum?
Put that on camera. You're a creep. Get away from me.
Well, sir, I'm on the
If you're-
public
if
street.
you're
I should be authorized to be here.
I'll break it over your head. I'll break it over your head. Get away from me, you crumb.
There is a
You're
woman
a
here.
crumb creep coward. I want to fight you.
Why is that?
Because you're a crumb creep lush coward.
You don't even know me, Mayor.
You are a lush. I can tell by looking at you. I was a cop all my life, and I know a lush when I see one, and you're a lush. You're a creep. Get away from me.
Oh, that's...
How great is that, Tony?
Goodness gracious.
Wow. That is one of the all-timers, man. And there's Frank with his Stetson on and his rain jacket, walking his dog up there in Mount Airy or Germantown where he lived. And then this reporter comes up, a local TV guy, and we got that. That's better than anything Karine Jean-Pierre has had to face so far.
Frank literally just gave us 20 different drops to add to our soundboard.
I know. I had them all cut up. I have those all cut up in segments. So the crumb bump and the shirt that I'm wearing, actually I got this in South Philly at the store South Fellini, where they sell all these crazy shirts. And this is where I got, actually, my buddy Luigi got it for me. So
Nice.
crumb bum, one of my favorite terms now.
We have one of the boys in
not crumb cake. Not the tasty cake, crumb cakes.
Yeah.
We have one of the
the ones with the crumbs all on top?
Yeah, of course.
What are they called?
Coffee cake, yeah.
They're called coffee cakes.
Probably some fresh
Not
ones
crumb
down the
bum
hallway
cakes.
here. Yeah.
We have one of the boys in the back.
Exactly, yes.
One of the boys in the back is working on those drops. So.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh,
so we should have it
beautiful.
tomorrow.
Speaking of drops.
You got to have those. You got to have those regular. You got to have those standing by.
Yes. Speaking of drops, I got to get your thoughts on this story. So you remember on your show, you used to play the Bill O'Reilly drop of "Don't write it, we'll do it live."
Yeah.
You remember that? Well,
Absolutely.
Tucker Carlson, here's a drop of Tucker imitating Bill O'Reilly. Listen to this.
It, we'll do it live.
And that is courtesy of these little weasels at Media Matters that are
Media Matters for America.
Right.
No more corrupt DNC operatives than these phonies pretending that they're like some media company.
Mm-hmm.
And so somebody at Fox leaked these videos to this Gertz guy, Matt Gertz. I think that's his name.
Yeah, not Matt
and he's
Getz.
making it, not Matt Gates. No.
No.
This guy is making it look like that these are so incriminating, and this is why he was fired, because he was he was goofing off as he was getting ready to tape one of his segments. And so now all of a sudden, this is the reason Tucker. And I don't know the reason why Tucker Carlson was fired, but I doubt it was because he was goofing off in the studio saying, "We'll do it live," as Bill O'Reilly would say. But it is one of the great You know, that's what the people. I think it makes Tucker Carlson look better.
Yeah, that's
not
what we were
worse.
saying. That's what we were
That
saying.
These videos of, oh, we've got this incriminating evidence of. Meanwhile, did you see that on his final show he had like 3 million viewers on Fox?
Yep.
And then on his online comments that he made, he had 7 million people watching. So I mean, you know, you say what you want, but it's just ridiculous. These people are just pathetic. And listen, I get it. Both political sides have pathetic weasels on, and that's one of the reasons I'm glad I'm not on Twitter anymore. I can still read all the garbage. I just can't respond to it, you know. And I look every day. I go on there and I can read what's trending and see the stuff that's happening.
Sure.
But I can't respond. I can't tweet. I can't like. Yet I got thrown off for violent speech, and all you see on there is violent speech. So I don't get it. I don't get what the rules are anymore.
So are you going to make like a trek to San Francisco and try to get a one-on-one sit-down with Elon Musk? What are we doing here? Or are we
I
just
don't
are you
even
throwing
think
in the
Elon
towel?
goes into the office anymore.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I missed that. I see, that's my bad timing there. What was that Elon Musk drop again? Can I hear that again? What was it?
Who, me?
Somebody played a drop and I talked over it. I'm sorry.
No, that wasn't me.
Okay.
Was that Robin messing around?
No. Robin doesn't have any Elon Musk.
Because we'll put her in the bathroom and keep her there.
She's got some other Musk. What was the cologne that was one of the...
She's got some
Remember all the
other
Musks? that used to-
Where are you going with this?
No, it was like this Musk. There were like all these colognes back in the 80s that guys used to use, like Canoe. And, but there was one called Musk something.
Yeah.
Not Elon Musk.
Yeah.
By the way, this just in, the Phillies have given up 26 runs in
correct.
2 games against the Dodgers. But everybody's worried about Bryce Harper striking out 3 times. He played last night, and obviously, you know, the big story is, you know, he was facing a tough left-hander. He was throwing them curveballs, and one of the things that Bryce is going to have to get used to, it's still amazing that 160 days ago he had Tommy John surgery on his wrist. So he goes up there, swings the bat, and he was going after low stuff. But the biggest adjustment he's going to have to make is to the pitch clock, because he likes to take his time between at-bats, between pitches. So that's going to be something he's got to get used to.
Yes.
But unfortunately, Bryce Harper could not hit a 14-run home run last night to bail the Phillies out in a comeback victory against the Dodgers. That's I was going to use a bad joke here, but Robin told me not to do it about beatdowns in Los Angeles. So I'm not going to go there.
Well, I'll give you a bad joke, Tony, for Bryce Harper. If you're going to suck Bryce, suck fast.
Exactly right.
Exactly.
A wise man I heard say that not that long ago right here on this great radio station, 1210 WPHT.
We've got some bonus Bruno coming up next. We'll get Tony's thoughts on the Sixers and Celtics series, and also Joel Embiid winning the MVP. Tony B sticks around for one more segment, and we're back after this here on Kayal Company. Stay there.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Every once in a while, you come across a deal that you can't pass up. And if you live in an older home, you'll want to listen up. I've told you how USA Insulation completely changed how my home feels. I've told you how it's paid for itself in energy savings. And if you haven't had your home insulation upgraded yet, I'm here to tell you that now is the time. The discounts are bigger than they've ever been. This month, during National Home Improvement Month, you can get free install labor. You pay for the foam. USA Insulation will install it for free. Plus, there's an energy credit that puts up to $1,200 back in your pocket. You got to take advantage of this before the summer heat. They can insulate almost any type of home, including brick homes. Over 100,000 homeowners can't be wrong, including me. 1-800-USA-FOAM. That's 1-800-USA-FOAM or usainsulation.net, usainsulation.net.
Join Camden County and visit South Jersey May 6th for the annual Down and Derby Wine Festival at Veterans Island at Cooper River Park. Enjoy a day of sipping wine from South Jersey's favorite wineries like Valenzano and Wagon House Wineries. Buy your tickets now at downandderbywinefestival.com. Get 10 tickets for the price of 8 or 6 tickets for the price of 5. Come dressed in your Kentucky finest or as you like. Music and entertainment including the Secret Service Band. Buy your tickets now at downandderbywinefestival.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Are you tired of paying too much? Rescue Natural Supplements are rolling back prices to 2013 on top of Memorial savings all month long. That's right. For the entire month of May, you can buy 2 products, get 1 free, or buy 3 products and get 2 free on every single Rescue supplement. Combining decade-old rolled back prices with free bottles for huge savings. Stock up on all your favorites. 1250 Omegas, cholesterol supporters, probiotic, and brand new health gummies are all on sale. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a Rescue product consultant or shop online, res-q.com, res-q.com. Don't miss out on this opportunity to save big. Rescue is over 50 products to target your health goals, and everything is on sale. Rolled back prices and memorial deals start now and last through the end of the month. So go shop res-q.com today. That's res-q.com.
Have you been lied to? Lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, this is best-selling author Sean Valentine. I want to give you a free copy of my new book, Trouble-Free Retirement. Because according to Time magazine, Wall Street's retirement plans and 401k plans have failed millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, I said enough is enough. I've discovered a way to grow money potential double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you'll lose nothing. Call me, Sean Valentine, now to get a free copy of my book and talk to me personally to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits. Call 1-800-346-9797 to discover this asset that many people, like Walt Disney and JCPenney, use to grow wealthy. I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-346-9797. Again, 1-800-346-9797.
You know, spring has arrived. There is no better way to find that perfect new or certified luxury vehicle you've been wanting. And my dear friends from Piazza Premium Automobiles are always here to assist you in your unique vehicle search throughout the tri-state area. That's right, the Piazza Premium family featuring dealerships across Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. Their newest location, Jaguar Land Rover, Harrisburg. So find your Alfa Romeo, your Maserati, your Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Jaguar, or Land Rover at PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. P-I-A-Z-Z-A, PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Rich Zioli this afternoon, 3 till 7. Kayal Company now on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Little bonus Bruno here on this Wednesday morning as we welcome you back in. Kayal Company, Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. We're live on the Odyssey app and streaming for your video viewing pleasure on YouTube. And you can actually watch the great Tony Bruno live on camera from the great state of Florida right now. Bruno's very natural in front of the camera. He's used to being on film.
Exactly right. Most of it's 8mm or VHS, and some beta were available.
Exactly.
But we have breaking news on the show now.
Oh, no.
You know, yes, breaking news. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio, as you well know, Nick Kale, has just announced its new class. And it's an unbelievable class.
Yeah.
That's what I love about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're not like the Baseball Hall of Fame where they put 1 or 2 people in every year and make a big deal about it. Did you see the class? Shaka Khan. The list is incredible. But to me, the best name on the list, and I'm glad he's no longer with us, but I did meet him at a bar in Hollywood once, and he was sitting at the bar, and I went up to him and I introduced myself, and I said, "You're one of my all-time favorites." Former Chicago DJ, and he became the host of one of the most iconic TV shows ever. Don Cornelius.
Wow.
Of yes. You remember what show? Remember when he used to sign off?
Bet your last money it's all gonna be a stone gas, honey. I'm Don Cornelius, and as always in parting, we wish you love and peace
I can't believe you had that on demand.
Soul train.
No, Robin found. I asked you to find it during the break because I got the breaking news on my high-speed wire here. I have an old ticker tape that I stole from the old WCAU studios. One of those ticker tapes that go on. I have to have the news in the background. KYW used to use it in their news in the back. You'd hear the little ticker tape in the back.
Yes.
Do they still use that, or did they finally shut that off?
They don't, but word is that they're going to be bringing it back. So.
Oh, you got to bring it back, man.
We're going to bring the jingles back, too.
I just heard from Karine Jean-Pierre has just held an emergency news conference at the White House where she has told Peter Doocy that Joe Biden is so excited about Don Cornelius making the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that Joe Biden will be there to do the Soul Train Scramble Board live at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremonies.
Wow.
I'm serious. Think about it.
Tony, Don Povia checks in. He says, tell Tony he's thinking of Jovan Musk or Jovan Musk.
Yes, Jovan Musk. That's right. Jovan was the name of it, but they were all called Musks back in the day.
Yeah.
But I always thought of Musk as like not smelling good. Whoever thought this Musk was a good smell.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not talking about Elon. I'm talking about it used to be Musk. When I think of musky, I think of like dingy. I think of, when you go into a place and it smells like mold and mildew and all that other stuff. Isn't that what musk is? Is musk supposed to be a pleasant aroma?
No, it's not a refreshing scent at all. And it's funny you talk about this, Tone, because we got into this conversation yesterday on the show. What do you do from an HR standpoint if you're in the office with somebody who's got terrible body odor?
Yeah.
Do you have to tell that individual, like, hey, man, you might want to throw on some antiperspirant? Like, what do you do? Have you ever been in that situation?
Not in an office setting. Of course, that's, because nobody goes into the office anymore except people like you have to go in the studios. Whoa. But you don't even have to go into the studio anymore. So, no, that's a great point because, listen, I've been on buses, on subways, on SEPTA. You walk into a SEPTA bus or train and it doesn't stink. There's something wrong.
Yeah,
you got to have musk. That's the smell of the big city, of SEPTA, of the Broad Street subway when you're heading down or coming back from a Phillies game or an Eagles game, and that aroma, that musk of all the beer and alcohol and vomit and all the other lovely fragrances coming out of the people, especially after a loss.
Yes.
That's when all the juices flow. And you can really smell the sights and sounds of the city of Philadelphia, ladies and gentlemen.
Tamar Walker on YouTube, Tony, says Tony's thinking of musty, not musky. So it's a musty smell, not a musky smell.
Not Elon Musk.
Yeah.
But Elon Musk.
No, musk is an aroma. I got to look up the definition of the word musk, Robin.
Yes.
Can you look it up for me now? I don't have a dictionary in front of me.
Dictionary.com. Hey, how about Joel Embiid? MVP. Tony Bruno, I think the LeBron James drop is applicable again here because I think it's about damn time.
It is.
It's about damn time.
Exactly. And remember, go back to 2014. Remember, Joel Embiid's been on the Sixers almost 10 years.
It's hard to believe. That? It's hard to believe, isn't it?
And back in 2014, when somebody asked him, the Sixers drafted him. He was hurt. He couldn't play for a while, and then he got in. He says, one of these days, I'm going to be an MVP, and here he is. And he deserved it. Let's be honest. He deserved it. And the fact that the Sixers won Game 1 without him in it, look what happened to Miami last night. They didn't have, their main guy,
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Buckets, and they lose close to the New York Knicks to tie that series. But Joel Embiid is obviously the best player, and I'm glad, and now we can get this off our backs because we're so worried about MVPs in this town.
I know.
Let's get a damn championship. But I'm glad for Joel Embiid. He deserves it. But we have a Musk update.
We do.
Let's go to our musky desk, or musty, not misty, Miss Robin Austin with an update.
This is your personal dictionary. Musk, a strong-smelling reddish-brown substance which is secreted by the male musk deer for scent marking and is an important ingredient in perfumery.
There you go. So musk comes from rodents.
Yes.
Or deer.
Varmint.
Musky deer out there. Then why do we use like deer urine to attract stuff, right? Isn't that what hunters use?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think they're trying to attract women, though. Or men.
That's a good point.
I don't know. Have you seen some of the dudes that are out there picking up hot chicks? You go to Vegas and you walk into a casino and there's this gorgeous woman dressed to the nines and some musky smelling and looking dude with a tank top walking right next to her.
Tank top.
Right?
Well, I believe that a skunk also.
Yes, a
secretes
skunk has musk.
Yeah. So, which I believe is also sometimes used. The musk portion of it is used in perfume.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it carries well.
Yeah, and the skunk spray in self-defense.
What about the bear spray? You know, like what all these Antifa people, don't they spray like bear? What is the stuff that they spray on people?
I have no
It's a
idea.
bear spray?
Mace?
Yeah, it's like a bear. It's basically it's used against people they disagree with.
Oh.
So let's whip out some bear spray or some deer urine or whatever you
Right.
got in the bag and throw it out there. You know what I'm saying?
I think all Democrats now carry that. All right, Bruno. Good stuff as always. It was good to actually see you on YouTube.
Woo!
So nice work.
Yes, I didn't even put my makeup on or anything.
Neither
I
did
just
I.
got dressed. I threw my crumb bomb shirt.
Yes.
I walked 10 feet from my bedroom, and I sat down and I said, let's do this, baby.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Or as Tucker Carlson would say.
Yeah, we'll do it live. We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Yes, thank you, Bill.
I'll write it and we'll do it live. The
whole thing sucks. Did you say suck again? That has become the word of the day, folks, if you missed it earlier.
Yes.
Sucks.
Yes. And if you're going to suck, Tony, suck fast.
Oh, boy.
Exactly right.
Very fast.
I'm getting a T-shirt made. I'm going to make a T-shirt. If you're going to suck fast.
I like it.
Said no one ever, by the way.
Exactly. All right, get out of here.
Oh, my Lord. Go on.
Get out.
Get out. There he is, the great Tony Bruno, live from Florida, the man with the Twitter ban.
Wow.
So there you go.
I need to go.
Yeah, there you go, Bruno.
I'm exhausted now.
I'm
We still have an
spent.
hour to go.
I'm shot. Is it 10 o'clock?
No.
Dawn, what do we have on tap? Are we 6 minutes out? The Dawn
No.
show is going to start at 9 this morning.
No, we still have tons of good stuff to go.
All right. We do. U.S. Navy recruit numbers are down, so who do you get to advertise? Well, you go drag, of course, because that makes total sense. Bud Light in decline, and Google has now hired an inclusive language manager.
Oh, boy.
Because, they just have endless money to throw around for jobs like inclusive language managers. God forbid if they actually had one of those here at Odyssey. I might have to object to that. But anyway, we'll come back. Dawn's got the big three at 9. We'll hit on those stories, the morning mystery movie clip. So much more still ahead as we continue here on a Wednesday. And remember, folks, if you're going to suck, suck fast.
Yeah, we'll do it live.
I'm not even mad that I've never experienced that so-called brotherly love you all brag about here in Philly. I wouldn't expect that being a huge rival and all.
That's football legend and all-time rushing leader Emmitt Smith.
Even though we've been on different sides of the field, I'm still going to extend some kindness to you folks and tell you all about a way to get relief from that awful joint pain without surgery or harmful medications. That's QC Kinetics.
They're the nation's leader in regenerative treatments that go right to the source of your pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or back, using your natural healing properties right in the office. No downtime to get you the relief you deserve.
See, we're all in this together when it comes to getting relief from that nagging joint pain. I'm glad I can show you some brotherly love, Philly.
Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. Do you have water on your property, soggy yard, sinking hardscape, pool liner floating? Garden State Earthworks is your drainage solution. 856-848-4444 or GardenStateEarthworks.com.
Hi, this is Don Giordano. Are you concerned about your child struggling in school? Do they need more of a challenge? Now's the time to make the call to Kathy Ganna at New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown. 800-300-0003. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2 to 1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for that no-obligation touring consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today, 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today, 800-300-0003.
Hey, neighbor, what you doing?
Just getting the groundwork done to put up my new fence.
Oh, cool. Did you contact Pennsylvania One call system to check the underground utilities first?
Nah, there's nothing but dirt back here. Oh, no.
Whoa, I think that's a water main. Yeah, well, you said you always wanted a pool. All joking aside, you should call Pennsylvania One call.
You're right, I'm going to call Pennsylvania One call. But first, cannonball!
Know what's below. Contact 811 before you dig or visit pa1call.org to submit a locate request to have underground utilities marked.
I'm Lisa Thomas-Laurie. If you're on Medicare, I've got great news. Keystone 65 HMO plans from Independence Blue Cross have earned 5 stars, Medicare's highest rating for 2022. Some plans have no monthly premiums, no deductibles, and no copays for primary care visits and some prescription drugs. Don't wait. Visit ibxmedicare.com/star.
Every year, Medicare evaluates plans based on a 5-star rating system. Keystone 65 offers HMO plans with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Keystone 65 Medicare Advantage plans depends on contract renewal. This is a paid endorsement.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show at St. Robert's on Euclid Ave in Warrington, Saturday, May 6th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com! Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Medical hydration therapy, pain management, and more. We'll talk about it on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, it's Rich. It's the only 40 days up to 40 pounds. Just say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. The warmer weather is here. It's time to shed that winter fat and be slimmer before summer. Stop covering up with oversized sweatshirts and contact NJ Diet. They will contractually guarantee you'll lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. The best part, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you're burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. So what are you waiting for? Book your consultation today by calling 855-5NJ-DIET or going to njdiet.com. Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in just 40 days. NJDiet.com.
A horrific car accident left Paula with major injuries and surgery after surgery.
I got to the point where I really couldn't walk. I had to resign from work. I was really just laying in bed. It was terrible. I wouldn't go back under the knife.
She missed working and traveling, but all that was about to change. QC Kinetics used natural biologics to treat Paula. No foreign substances. They provided regenerative treatments that helped subside the pain and restore her quality of life.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I was feeling more movement and doing stuff. And then I started crying. I'm like, I can't believe it.
For Paula, this moment was extremely emotional.
I couldn't do nothing. And now I'm working, and I was on my feet for 7.5 hours, and I feel good. I got my life back because of QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics now for your consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Joel Embiid becomes the first Sixers player to be named the NBA's MVP since Allen Iverson in 2001. Workers at a West Reading candy factory tell investigators they smelled rotten eggs before the building exploded. A man suspected of killing 5 people, including a 9-year-old boy near Cleveland, Texas, is in police custody.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hey, Warminster, we know your favorite station is WPHT.
Tell your smart speaker to play
1210 WPHT.
Kayal Company 901 as we continue. The great Tony Bruno. Good job out of Bruno. A lot of people checking in on Twitter, trying to get the hashtag trending of hashtag bring back Bruno. 44 days. Not that he's tracking it at home for the days that he's been banned from Twitter. But we got a lot going on here. Nick, Greg, Dawn, the whole gang is here as we head till 10 o'clock this morning. 855-839-1210. The Odyssey app, you can listen. YouTube, you can watch. Are we inching closer to the 3K subscribers that you are demanding of the people?
I believe we hit it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Just give me 1 second to pull it up.
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. And
But
also
I'm
you
not
can...
100%. Oh, that was... No, we're at 2.39. So,
Okay.
we're almost there. So if you're listening right now, at 1210 WPHT, hit the subscribe button so we can get to 2,400 subscribers before the end of the show.
So just about, 60 more to go, I think?
Can you be the 2,400th subscriber?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, if you're tracking at home, our subscriber count compared to illegal border crossings is very minimal. Very, very minimal. But it's not down 90%. It's actually up 90% because we're blowing up.
By the way, we're just having Dawn and I were just having a conversation with some of the suits. I guess I should consider myself one of the suits. But, I have to I send these memos to you guys that, we probably shouldn't discuss on air, but I do, about how well the station's doing. The show, Dawn's show, afternoons, with Zioli, everything is just going great. We're increasing every year. Every month. We started at 0, and over a month in, we have 2,400 YouTube subscribers.
That's pretty good.
There are radio stations that have been YouTubing for 5 years that don't have that.
There are morning shows that have less than 2,400 listeners. I can't name names. It's against the rules, but, just figured I'd throw that out there. So, keep it up. We're doing good. We're doing good.
Dawn also revealed something interesting. She said that she doesn't respond to any of the memos that I sent about good ratings or good stream numbers because she doesn't want to jinx us.
Not listening. Now I have to find wood.
Well, Dawn's got, Emmy Awards and stuff, so she's been to the end zone before.
I get it.
Act like you've been there before. Dawn knows what it's like to win, so it's just another day in her life.
I would say picture the face of James Harden this week. The beard.
The beard.
Right?
Right.
Picture his face after that game.
Yeah.
No victory celebration. Right? The reporter didn't even look at the reporter. He was like all business. I do believe in that kind of an attitude.
Yeah. See, I go the opposite. I let the whole world know about it.
I know.
I spike that football in the end zone.
I send out an email within 17 seconds. Nick is on Twitter being like, "We did it! We did it again!" I'm like, "All right, dude.
That's right.
Okay.
For all you haters out there.
And I'm always like, la, 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 because I am one of those really superstitious people.
Yep. Yeah, we did it again.
How does that sound?
Sounds great. Morning mystery movie clip at 9:20. Also,
Tony Bruno joins our Facebook or our YouTube chat.
Oh,
Tony
he's in
Bruno
the
show
comments?
is in the comments section on our YouTube channel.
Oh boy.
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. God only knows what he's going to say in there.
Don't get us shut down, Bruno.
Uncensored Bruno on YouTube in the YouTube comments section.
Boy.
What could possibly go wrong? Oh my God.
Oh, wow. All right, we got a lot to get to before we get to the morning mystery movie clip. We got a couple of good stories to get to as well. But before all of that, let's get down to the business. Here's Dawn Stenslin with the Big 3 at 9.
It's the Big 3 at 9 on Kayal Company.
And our Big 3 at 9, sponsored this morning by Joseph Anthony Spa and Salon. So this one is under the category of the Philadelphia Police Department. They agree they need to do better. They're apologizing. Why? Well, this in the face of a member of the LGBTQ plus liaison committee has resigned in protest.
Heartbreaking.
Very upset about this. So now Philadelphia, there's an apology here. This has to do with the Community Relations Bureau saying that they need to do a better job. This committee, by the way, was created under the Ed Rendell administration. I think John Timoney was the police commissioner back in the day. But they say by today's standards, the group, yes, is toothless, but the LGBTQ plus police liaison committee's formation needs to go under some renovations.
Gotta
And they're being called out,
yeah.
and they have a resignation of somebody just saying, I can't do it.
No, we got to do a little refurbishing.
That's right.
Okay. Good to know.
What did you do? Spanking machine for all of them.
Yes.
Number 2, fired over sorry cancel culture. There is word that the president of Philadelphia's Thomas Jefferson University, this is Dr. Mark Tykosinski.
The guy that was liking the tweets.
Yeah.
Yes.
He could lose his job.
That's outrageous.
Even,
Oh my God.
I mean, this is, when I first saw this, I've been talking about it, but it's mind-boggling.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 70-year-old immunologist, dean of the medical school, with an impeccable record and reputation.
Yeah.
He has repeatedly issued apologies, saying this was regretful. The guy's tweeted like in his life 85 times.
Yes.
And so why is he saying he's sorry? Yeah, he liked these tweets where he had doubted COVID. The tweets happen to have doubted COVID vaccines or tweets that question gender reassignment as child mutilation. He has come out and explained himself.
Yeah.
He says he loves, to look at issues that are provocative, and he wanted to further study them, that he did not realize that by liking a tweet, he didn't think that it in any way was endorsing it.
See, if I'm him at 70 years old, I'm being combative about this. But you want to come cancel me? Come and try and cancel me. So he's an immunologist. Yeah. So he's reputable in this field of study.
Yes.
He's probably done well for himself financially. He's 70, and he still has common sense because he's questioning the whole trans procedure movement, which I think anybody with common sense would do. And he is skeptical of the COVID vaccine, which, after all the data that has been revealed, he's actually very accurate in his assessment, and he's going to lose his job over all of that.
Yeah, and he never commented. You know how sometimes you'll retweet it, but you comment first?
Yeah.
And he's not even saying what you just said.
This is exactly what happened to Bruno. We were just talking about Tony being banned on Twitter for retweeting or something, not even saying anything. And now this guy likes tweets and could lose his job, all because of a bunch of nutbags on the left that want to cancel somebody and ruin somebody's existence.
Yes.
And I mentioned this yesterday when we talked about this story, or 2 days ago. There are people that in their Twitter profile will say retweets or likes are not endorsements. You can click the like button for the sake of storing it in your archived likes. So like 4 days later, you can go back in and click on the link, read the story. I do that all the time for show gathering sources and topic purposes. Doesn't mean I agree with everything I'm retweeting or liking.
I'm curious, did they always have the feature where you can bookmark something, or is that something new?
I think they've always had it, but I guess maybe the counter argument is, well, don't click like, click bookmark.
So he didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Because he obviously is not a prolific tweeter.
Yeah.
Even so, then the CEO, I think that's what we talked about yesterday. The CEO then yesterday had called him out. And this was like on the front of an Inquirer headline. And Elon Musk even said, shame on you. Even Elon Musk sounded off on that to say, really?
Yep.
But this is going on in Philadelphia. This is the culture of, corporate culture that we talk about all the time.
There's only one viewpoint, and if you don't adhere to that viewpoint, you risk your job security.
I feel so badly for this doctor.
Yeah.
Please call into us.
If he gets canceled, Greg's giving him a show.
I am, absolutely.
Brilliant doctor, brilliant minds. And think about what is the chilling effect? What are you going to get, a bunch of dummies running our universities and so on?
Right.
I'm sure he can't speak, but would he be a great guest for the Dawn Show?
Yeah,
Just saying.
I know.
Anthony, if you're
Or
listening.
any of us.
By the way, Jacqueline writes to me, enough with the YouTube obsession. Here's my phone number. Please let me know when you have enough viewers that you do not need to solicit for additional ones endlessly. I listen to the radio because I want to listen, not watch. Thank you. And she signs her name, and she gives me her phone number. Oh. So I guess I'm supposed to call her when we have enough subscribers.
Call her when we hit 3K.
Look, it's just an added layer to the show because they don't give us any money for marketing, so we have to market ourselves. And this is the best way to do it.
Yeah, this is a common theme in radio where you're getting the visual component of the show.
And it's also like this is what, the only way you're going to get people to do something is to ask them to do it.
Yeah.
And you have to keep asking them because people tune in and out.
That's right.
All morning long.
Yes.
Jacqueline, They're boys. This is their new toy. Let them
Jacqueline,
play with it.
Jump in the comments section. The water's warm.
Jacqueline,
Come on in.
Can we talk, Jacqueline?
Splash around a little bit.
They're very excited about it.
If you
Let them
can't
play with their new toy.
If you can't take this, then tune in at 10 for Dawn.
Yes.
She won't harp on it so much.
You know what Jacqueline needs? Joseph Anthony Retreats Spa and Salon.
Yes. And a root beer
Spa
and a ham
day for
sandwich.
you.
Yes.
Joseph Anthony Retreats Spa and Salon. We love them. The secret to spoiling the moms in your life. This spring, Mother's Day is coming up on the 14th. Now with 3 locations, Glen Mills, Springfield, Center City at the Lowe's Hotel. Visit in person or online, josephanthony.com, where gift cards are always available. That's josephanthony.com. And this is Kayal Company, Big 3.
And thank you very much, Dawn, to our last, critic of the show, Jacqueline. Just so you know, Jacqueline, I was alerted by the boys in the back. Today is our highest number of viewers on a single day.
Wow.
And the viewing time keeps going up as well.
Wow. That's
So,
great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
La, 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 la.
Dawn, it's not superstitious. We're just,
Yeah.
it's Fox News. Look, it's Fox News
jinxing
posting
it.
our greatest quarter ever in cable news. That's promotion is part of my job.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I'm promoting the brand because God
not
knows
really.
because
It's
God
his toy.
because God knows nobody else will.
Pimpin' ain't easy.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Greg's toy.
I
Toy
love all the shows equally, and I'm trying to get as much promotion for each of you as possible.
And Jacqueline, don't tune in at 5 today because Rich will be on YouTube Live for the
will.
5 o'clock
He
hour.
will, yeah.
So, But look, you can still listen the old-fashioned way at 12:10 a.m. or the new, more modern way on the Odyssey app. Or you could actually do both.
But Dawn's right. This is our new toy, and we'll get bored of it soon.
Yeah. I mean, you saw how Greg's little toy for a while was Instagram, and then
By
he
the
kicked
way,
Instagram to the curb.
I did kick Instagram
You
to
did.
the curb.
You've never acknowledged Twitter. You hate Twitter.
Go to Instagram, instagram.com/@1210WPHT, and subscribe to it.
Yes.
We're eventually going to take the portions of these shows and put them up there as little individual segments as soon as corporate can, get themselves away from the sports station, and help us.
Any other complaints you have within the company?
No,
feel free to air them out.
That's it. I love this company.
Okay.
No, I actually do.
Yeah.
I actually.
I would think so. You've been here for 2 decades.
I know. This is actually the best it's been.
Yeah.
It's the freest.
Yeah.
I will just say that.
Well, there you go. All right. So a couple of stories to hit on before we get to our morning mystery movie clip. So we've actually talked about this a few times in the past, probably 2 or 3 different stories in 4, 5, 6 months about how the recruiting goals for the armed forces are not being met. Well, the latest headline says that the Navy is now using drag queen ambassadors to appeal to a wide range of potential candidates amid military recruiting crisis. So, yes, another crisis going on. Don't tell Alejandro Mayorkas that because he won't acknowledge any crisis. But the U.S. Navy appointed a non-binary drag queen influencer. Let me just stop right there. The U.S. Navy appointed a non-binary drag queen influencer. I hope China is listening to Kayal Company this morning, or Russia, or North Korea. And if they are and they hear these headlines, they're probably sitting back and saying, you know what? Remember that old country, the big bad United States of America? Yeah, they're running out of people that are willing to risk their life. So now, in order to boost the numbers, the Navy has appointed a non-binary drag queen influencer as its digital ambassador to appeal to a wide range of potential candidates. Yeo Man, I see these, I don't know what these even mean. Anyway, Joshua Kelly, an active duty sailor who dresses in drag and goes by the stage name Harpy Daniels.
By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, the boys in the back are playing the video as
I didn't even know they were playing it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So you've got an active duty sailor who dresses in drag and has a alias of the name of Harpy Daniels. I mean, that's Stormy Daniels' cousin. I don't know. Announced on social media in November that he had been invited to be the very first Navy digital ambassador. According to a Navy spokesperson, the ambassador program ran from October 2022 to March 2023, and it was designed to explore the digital environment to reach a wide range of potential candidates amid the most challenging recruiting environment since the start of the all-volunteer force. And one of the big overarching themes has been the military has struggled in recruiting and hitting the recruiting goals because the military has gotten super woke. So what does the Navy decide to do in light of low numbers due to wokeism? Let's go even more woke, and we'll have a drag queen ambassador to try to appeal to more candidates to boost our numbers. It's almost as if the Navy hasn't paid attention to the Bud Light story, where the Bud Light story is obviously, as we know, regarding Dylan Mulvaney, who they used in an advertising campaign. And since doing so, because Dylan Mulvaney is a trans social media Instagram influencer, their sales have tumbled 26%. We talk about some of these crazy stories a lot on this show, but where do you arrive? How do you arrive at the conclusion that in order to get more people to join this branch, we should have a non-binary sailor and queen on our social media platforms to reach out? Like, I'm sorry, I cannot see a way that this will lead to more people saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do something great for my country, and I'm going to enlist. Not going to happen.
No.
Not going to happen.
I cannot imagine the mindset of anybody in the Navy who thinks that this will actually get them more seamen. It's just not going to happen.
I see what you did
Seamen
there.
and women.
Right.
I should say.
Right.
To get those new recruits.
I'm such a 5-year-old.
The goal is to get more seamen, right?
Yeah, more seamen.
And women.
And women.
That's correct. So, best of luck to the Navy. But, if I'm looking around and I'm a global superpower, we're on the rise, I'm like, you know what, man? If we were ever going to kick the USA's, you know what, this might be the time. This might be the moment because they're running out of seamen.
Your children.
No, you can do this, Greg. You can do this. You can get through it.
To
We'll make it by. Which leads me to the other story.
Yeah.
Speaking of disasters in woke advertising. So if the Navy's not going to have it pan out, Bud Light certainly did not have their situation pan out. So now, for the first time in many years, Anheuser-Busch is at risk in light of this 26% plummet of their market share of the beer industry, of falling out of the number one spot. And they're on the verge of losing not only to Miller Lite, but also Coors Light. And now, Modelo Especial, as we come up on Cinco de Mayo, and the great beers of Mexico, which I love many of them, including Dos Equis and Corona. And I know some of them, I guess, are technically bottled here in the United States these days. Bud Light, we talked about that. Between Bud Light and Tucker Carlson, we probably spent 2.5 weeks on almost an everyday basis giving you an update with news stories. But now Bud Light is legitimately falling off of its perch. And I would argue that this might be the most successful conservative boycott in my lifetime. I can't recall, and we're not talking about cancel culture here, because to me that's like what they're trying to do to the guy here in Philadelphia, the 70-year-old immunologist. Mm-hmm. Take away his livelihood, cost him his job. Bud Light is not going to go out of business. It's just, a lot of the suits are going to lose their bonuses, and there might be some tightening and some trimming of the fat if this keeps up, and they have to maybe shed some salaries. But this is, I think, hands down one of the most successful boycotts of all time. And I think what it really tells you is, in America, don't mess with our beer. You can mess with a lot of things in this lifetime.
That's right.
Don't come for our beer.
That's right.
And it's one of these things of, well, if it's not broke, you don't need to fix it. That's what I would say to Bud Light. Like, guys, you were rolling. You're the number one beer company in the country. There was no need to risk losing a quarter of your market share for a CEI score or an ESG score or all these social credit nonsense. Like, was it worth it? Cool, you're higher in this little power ranking of businesses that appeal to everybody, but you just lost 25% of your market share. Way to go.
And I don't even think it's necessarily Dylan if they had just let it go, but it was that you learn through the podcast and all of that this was a strategy to say, yeah, those deplorables. And that's how I wouldn't even say it's a boycott. It's just a turnoff that you say, I have a choice of what beer I drink.
Yeah.
And if you think that, I'm fratty or I'm a deplorable, then thank you very much.
Yeah.
I will choose a different beer.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say for Corona, because remember Corona's sales decreased during the pandemic because of coronavirus. So probably Corona is thrilled that, they'll probably have like the biggest Cinco de Mayo ever because it's the Corona comeback. Because they're like, oh, thank you, Bud Light, for messing up.
Yeah.
Everybody forgot about,
all
the
these beer
virus.
companies are loving it. Yingling is loving it.
Yes.
I'm sure Yingling's doing much better, especially with some of their light varieties of beers that they put out these days. So there you have it. All right, 855-839-1210, 921. It's a Wednesday morning. Time to give something away on our morning mystery movie clip.
And now, the morning mystery movie clip on Kayal Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You gotta be kidding me. Wow. You realize how many people have read this? I'm up to 2,000 followers since last night.
You're trending, bro.
They're sending me messages. They're goading me into responding.
Don't do that.
Don't do it, man. Don't respond. Don't do it. Take the high road. Respond.
I know, but half the people are saying he's right.
Yeah, but half the people are saying he's wrong. That's the internet.
That's right. Listen to him.
That's social media. You on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm Twitter.
What's your name?
Little Marty. But all the people following me are people I don't even want to hang out during the day. I avoid all. Hey, what are you doing? Don't do it. What are you writing?
Chef, don't. That's not a good idea.
Just listen. I won't send it until we all say it's okay. Why don't you come by again tonight? I got a whole new menu just for you, ass.
No.
That's not good.
Give me the phone. Give me the phone.
Don't do it.
Think you know what it is? Be call at 12 at 855-839-1210, and you could win this great prize.
Oh, yeah, this great prize. For the third day in a row, we've got another $50 gift certificate to Chestnut Hills shops and restaurants. Caller 12 right now, 855-839-1210. You get yourself a $50 gift certificate to the Chestnut Hills shops and restaurants if you can identify that movie clip that we just played for you, which came out 9 years ago. 855-839-1210. Back after this with the winner and also a new initiative for Google. We'll give you that story as we're back after this.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, our goal is to be the #1 Volvo retailer in the Philadelphia market. Visit us for incredibly competitive pricing in concert with exceptional client attention. Our new and pre-owned inventories are vast. Allow Cherry Hill Volvo to earn from you the coveted #1 Volvo retailer in the Philadelphia market. We hope to prove to you that relationships really do matter.
It was the day we all feared. The stock market went down and then kept going.
2008, when the markets lost over 50% of their value. But that was over a decade ago. Today, it's not so painful. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group calls that financial amnesia. When you forget the pain of losing half your savings, and more importantly, ignore the fact that it can happen again. A complimentary consultation from Retire Ready Financial Group can show you where you stand now before the next market pullback. You're much closer to retirement than you were in 2008. Don't let it happen again. Call Jim Cipriotti at 610-894-7415 for a complimentary consultation. That's 610-894-7415 or online at retirereadyfg.com. You can forget where you put your keys, your glasses, or even your car. Don't forget to protect your retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriati, NPN number 2083768.
The following conversation brought to you by Omega. 800-300-9ERC. That's 800-300-9372. OmegaTaxCredits.com.
I thought I couldn't get the ERC if I got the PPP loan.
Nope. If you're a business owner with 5 to 500 employees, you might be eligible.
I thought it was really difficult to apply for the ERC.
Not if you use Omega. See, Omega is an accounting firm that has been around for over 15 years. They are a true accounting firm that will have a fiduciary relationship with you and your business, and they don't get paid until you get paid.
But I'm sure it takes forever to find out if you're eligible.
Again, no. If you call 800-300-9ERC, you could learn if you're a good candidate in less than 10 minutes.
I make a call that takes less than 10 minutes, and I can find out if my company is pre-qualified to receive a tax credit up to $26,000 per employee.
During the qualifying time frame, yes.
I'm checking out OmegaTaxCredits.com right now.
This conversation was voiced by actors that belong to a company that has already filed for their ERC.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or Home Depot. There are over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Hi everyone, this is Stephanie Kelly from Emmons Roofing and Siding, and I have some exciting news to share. Emmons has partnered with SunPower, the top-rated home solar company in New Jersey. SunPower has been leading the solar industry for over 37 years and is the only U.S. solar company that's lasted longer than their 25-year warranty. Kill the bill, the energy bill that is. Imagine no more high energy bills, while all the while helping reduce your carbon footprint at no cost to you. It's a win-win. Yes, we now offer solar, but remember, if you need a new roof, siding, doors, windows, or interior remodeling, don't wait. Right now, Emmons is offering all 1210 listeners 10% off roofing, siding, and Anderson windows, and we are continuing to offer 12-month same-as cash financing, and don't forget that lifetime warranty on your roof. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 856-885-6677, emmonsroofing.com. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, kitchens, baths, and solar. Trust Emmons to be your first and last stop for all your home improvement needs. emmonsroofing.com.
Voting is your most important right. It gives you the power to decide our city's future. But you have to be in the know to vote. That's why AARP Philadelphia has collected all the most up-to-date voting information. Check out aarp.org/PHLMayor to get all the key dates and deadlines for the May 16th primary election, including how to register, apply for a mail-in or absentee ballot, find your polling place, and so much more. That's aarp.org/PHLMayor.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. May is National Bike Month, so use your bike instead of your car or for a little bit of exercise. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Tamara Green, aka Strawberry, was a beautiful, young, exotic dancer and mother of 3 who was gunned down months after she was connected to a wild party at the Detroit mayor's mansion. The party's rumor, her murderous fact. Who Killed Strawberry is Odyssey's riveting new true crime podcast. 20 years later, Who Killed Strawberry is still a mystery, although there are lots of theories about why she was killed. Was it connected to the party, to a grudge, or to something else? Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Free speech lives here. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Kayal Company, as we are back and continuing here on a Wednesday morning. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, Nick, Greg, and Dawn. 855-839-1210. We've got a lot coming up here in the next 15, 20 minutes, including what's on the cut sheet part due. What is on tap for the Dawn Show at 10 o'clock? We'll find that out as well, and who won Twitter today. But right now, before we find out who wins Twitter, we have Marianne in Cherry Hill, who I believe has identified the correct movie clip that we just played. Marianne, good morning. What was the movie?
Morning.
The movie is Chef.
That is correct. Chef, 2014, you got yourself the $50 gift certificate to the Chestnut Hill Shops and Restaurants. So thank you very much for playing, and we appreciate you listening, Marianne.
Thank you, and I'm a subscriber also.
Okay, so you do watch the show on YouTube. Now, do you know Julia, or who was it that emailed us that was complaining?
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. Do you know Jacqueline?
I don't.
Okay, well, if you could find...
And I don't want to.
Oh, man.
Kayal Company
That's
Listener
not right.
Wars.
No.
Yes. Marianne, congratulations. You got the gift cards. How about this? So now we're going to have like a divide here.
Yeah.
We're going to have the YouTubers against the traditionalists in a battle of video consumption of Kayal Company versus, no, I just like it the old way, which is fine.
It's like NWO Black and White versus NWO Wolfpack.
Yes, and 4 people understand that reference. As you like to tell me all the time.
I know.
Yeah. No, we got a little bit of a divide here.
Yep.
Yeah, this is like DeSantis supporters versus Trump supporters.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it's fine. Any way you want to consume the show, I don't care. Honestly, if you want to watch it, if you hate watching it, you don't want to watch it, you want to listen on the app, you want to listen at 10 o'clock tonight, I don't care.
That's right.
Just consume the show. Consume all the shows.
Do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, so last story of the day before we get to what's on the cut sheet part 2. And by the way, if you missed any of the show today, you can get it on the Odyssey app. You can go back and rewatch the full show on YouTube. But a lot on the border situation with Biden in the beginning of the show with the admission yesterday and the 1,500 troops. We also got into the Biden, say that one more time. The Biden mortgage redistribution plan, as well as some of these emails from Hunter Biden from 2011 and 2012, and some of the Tucker Carlson stuff that's out there, courtesy of Media Matters, as they try to say we have a smoking gun on Tucker Carlson. And I think really all it has done, almost unanimously, is made Tucker Carlson more relatable to the common man, because he was saying things that the common dude says when he's with people, and he's apparently thinking he's not in front of a camera or a microphone. So all of that earlier in the show this morning. But we wrap up with this. Google, now we just talked yesterday about how Google's basically their creator of AI, the godfather of artificial intelligence, has decided to leave the company in fear of his life's work that he now regrets, because the rise of artificial intelligence is going to be such a threat and such a danger to the human civilization. But Google now is adding a new inclusive language dossier that bans the staff at Google from using words and phrases such as man hours and you guys.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, man. Google leadership recently sent out a new inclusive language dossier to its United Kingdom staff. So this is UK Google asking them to stop using terms such as man hours and you guys. The technology company encouraged its employees to refrain from using potentially offensive language.
Offensive?
Yes. Like, hey, you guys in the back. You can't say that no more. So the style guide targeted common IT lingo, including whitelist, black hole, blacklist, and black box. It also asked the staff to avoid referring to people or things as chubby, dummy variable, crazy, bonkers, or mad. Who the hell says crazy? Or well, people say crazy. Who says bonkers or mad in 2023? Whether it's in England or in the United States. But anyway, I'll go on. The language guide was specifically sent to Google developers, according to the U.S. Sun. It asked staff to be more gender inclusive in the workplace by replacing the term man hours with person hours. And, quote, when referring to a group of people, use non-gendered language such as everyone or folks, the document stated. Conservative member of Parliament Nigel Mills told The Sun that the language guide is, quote, woke nonsense. He says, quote, this is just woke nonsense. I don't know where people find the time to come up with this sort of thing, Mills stated. Sounds a lot like Nick Kayal. He goes on to say, quote, who cares? We should not be ditching phrases and words for a generation just because some snowflakes might get impacted, end quote. One anonymous Google employee told the news outlet that the company's staff is, quote, too busy to be concerned with the inoffensive terms. So once again, we've got these stories where they create a position within a big company and they say, okay, maybe this HR person over here or HR guy here or HR girl here. My sister's in one of these positions, and she has sent me text messages and screenshots in the past of some of these ridiculous trainings that she has to sit through. And, you've got all these people that are coming up with every possibly conceivable phrase in any vocabulary or vernacular that could remotely offend the softest little snowflake Pop-Tarts on the planet. And they say, you know what? I think we should axe that word. And then you say, let's get rid of this phrase as well, because there's, 13 people on Earth that would be triggered by that. And we just start replacing things. And, to me, at the end of the day, it's real petty nonsense. But the fact that they actually have meetings and waste, and I'm going to say it, they waste man hours on these meetings. And they sit down and there's actually people that say at the end of their workday, yeah, that's what I do for a living. And they almost try to justify their existence. Honest to God, if I was ever in a role like that and I was reassigned to the inclusive language department, I'd probably just resign. I'd just get up and I would update my LinkedIn page and checked out, some of those, job websites, and I'd be seeking employment elsewhere. But, these companies, I don't know. I guess it's all about their social credit score.
It's crazy.
It's just madness. I mean, it's just unreal. So I figured we would share that one with you as we wrap it up here on this Wednesday. All right, in about 15 minutes, we will find out what is on tap for the Dawn Show, as well as who won Twitter today. But let's get to what we like to call What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2.
What's on the Cut Sheet?
Part 2. What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2 on this Wednesday is brought to you by Catholic Philly. Stay up to date with the latest Catholic news by signing up for Catholic Philly's weekly newsletter containing local, national, and world Catholic news, inspiring feature stories, and more. Each week, direct to your email inbox. Visit CatholicPhilly.com to learn more. CatholicPhilly.com. Thank you, Catholic Philly, for sponsoring What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2. Let's stay in that realm of AI. At the World Economic Forum, Nick, Richard Baldwin, who's an economist, said this about AI. He said the most expensive, most talented workers have 20 years of experience and know how to apply that. That's what AI does overnight.
Oh, so you're expendable.
Basically is what he said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Thank you, Dick.
AI is essentially wisdom in a can. And so it's giving more power to all workers, but especially those average workers. So if you take an AI, for instance, and give it medical AI, give it to a nurse, he or she is much more capable than they were before, the doctor too, a little bit. So I think this AI will be uplifting to the middle class because it's in essence the most expensive, most talented workers are people who have 20 years experience and know how to apply that. That's what AI does overnight. So I think it will be uplifting for the middle class. That's my, but it will be extremely disruptive in the sense that every job will change. There'll be automation of certain things, and everybody will learn how to deal with it. Or what I say on Twitter all the time is, AI won't take your job. It's somebody using AI that'll take your job.
I was thinking about this yesterday as to some of the concerns with AI and everybody being afraid of it. Have they thought this one through from the standpoint of, okay, you're going to replace humans with artificial intelligence, probably because the number one reason is it's more cost effective, right? Okay, so you eliminate humans that are being paid to do a job, and you save money on your bottom line with artificial intelligence. But did they factor in that the fact that, if you lose your job as a human, it's hard for you to be a contributor to the economy? Because if you don't make money, that means you can't redistribute the money you make back into the economy. So if you're going to put robots in there, are the robots then all of a sudden going to do things to stimulate the economy as a purchaser, as a, shopper?
Yeah.
Have they thought that through? Because when you lose your job and you're broke, you can't buy stuff.
So I got to ask you. Yesterday, you said AI doesn't scare you.
It does not.
Does it? Have you thought that through?
Yes. And for the full context of it, it worries me with the rise of misinformation and disinformation. It worries me with, what foreign governments can do to justify or validate, going on the attack or the offensive. My only non-concern is the thought that, oh my God, the robots are going to kill the humans. I just don't see that happening. I'm more concerned about what the economic impacts will be if people lose their jobs and can't be contributors to our economic system.
Well, that's why this minimum wage that keeps on going up. That's all they're pushing it. Even the fast food places have gone to the robots, and you know what I mean? That's where this is all going.
Yeah. So, if you think about it in this country, so first the jobs went to China. Now all the jobs will go to robots. Mm-hmm. We just don't value labor anymore in this country, do we? We really don't.
It's true.
Look, we had friends over on Sunday, and all four of us, me and my wife and the two couples that were with us, all work in different fields. And I went around the room, and all the people, like myself, my wife's friend, our jobs can be replaced by AI.
All jobs?
All three of our jobs could be replaced by AI. Yes, I know that, well, maybe not this job, but the brand manager job, it can 100% be replaced by AI.
To get like deep in the weeds of radio, in some regards with automation, artificial intelligence for the music formats has, made the on-air DJ less, necessary.
But the one guy who was there with us, who is a construction foreman, he's the one guy that I said, your job will never be replaced because people are always gonna need to build things, and so
are welders going to go by the wayside?
No,
construction workers,
no,
landscapers,
electricians, plumbers.
No. That's why. Yeah. Tell your kids to get in on a trade.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Trade school, man.
Enough with these expensive colleges that get you a bachelor's degree in nothing.
In communications.
Yeah. We talked a lot at the top of the show about the writer's strike that's happening in Hollywood, how it's affecting a lot of the shows. Whoopi Goldberg on The View announced this at the start of The View yesterday, and she says that, look, they're not going to be as funny because their writers are not. Their writers are on strike.
You know how we're always talking about how we're very different than most other shows? Well, as you know, there is a writer's strike on, and so we don't have writers, okay? So you're going to hear how it would be when it's not, slicked up. Okay?
We don't have writers today. We usually do have writers. It sounded like we never have writers.
That's because you're not listening to me.
No, I heard.
That's why we need writers.
That's why we need.
Before we get all slicked up, I would argue you need to be sauced up to watch that show.
Can you? They have writers on that show?
Yeah, I think they have producers. You think they have people that actually write stuff out, or just a bunch of producers?
Wow. No, they have writers.
Wow. I've never heard any of them put together a sentence. What are they writing? Bullet points?
Their little jokes or anything?
Their digs at Trump?
Mm-hmm. That's all written out.
Can anybody, in all honesty, we have no writers on the show. Can anybody just speak extemporaneously?
No.
Anymore?
No.
Like, what do we...
How is it possible that we can do 4 hours a day, 5 days a week,
Dawn does 6.
Dawn 30 hours a week, and an ensemble cast of 5 clowns? And how long is that show on for each day?
An hour.
It's only an hour.
Yeah, so it's actually like 42 minutes or whatever.
And I thought I had excessive hours in my day to fill up doing 4 hours of radio where I'm bored at like 4 p.m.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how bored I would be doing 1 hour of TV a day. I would need a part-time job just to keep my sanity. Jeez. And they've got 5 of them on there.
And by the way, one has been in movies. Whoopi Goldberg, she's a comedian. Joy Behar's a comedian. Like, you're telling me they need writers?
I didn't know that Joy Behar was a comedian, really.
She was. That's how she started out.
Oh.
I think he's being
funny. So she probably, I guess she washed out of that industry pretty quickly, huh?
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, I knew Whoopi was, but I just figured Joy was, wannabe Barbara Walters.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. All right, 9:46. We'll come back, find out what's on tap for the Dawn Show today and who won Twitter today. That's all still coming up next here on Kayal Company.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Do you want a beautiful home that's easy to maintain? I've been telling you about a great company that does just that. John Gilgee is here to tell you in his own words. Take it away, my friend.
Hello, it's John from Rhino Shield, reminding you that spring is here and Rhino Shield is ready to help you paint your home for the last time. Our permanent exterior house paint is not ordinary paint. It's a ceramic house coating that goes on like paint and looks like paint, but is guaranteed for 25 years. If your home's exterior isn't looking as good as you'd like, Rhino Shield is the solution you've been looking for. It's affordable because you only have to paint one last time, and it protects your home with a durable and waterproof coating that goes on any exterior surface. Find out why so many of your neighbors are choosing the permanent paint solution from Rhino Shield by calling to schedule your free estimate today at 844-RHINO-99. That's 844-744-6699.
This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
Corporate events, private parties, kick your next event up a notch. Hire comedian Joe Conklin to entertain your guests.
Hey, this is Dr. Charles Langman, and we hired Joe for a kickoff for our fundraiser, and he was just awesome. Knocked people's socks off.
I hired Joe to be the entertainment for the Liberty USO. The crowd went wild.
I definitely recommend Joe to anybody that wants to make a great impression with their customers.
Hire Joe Conklin now for corporate events and private parties. Go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Treat your car well, and it'll reward you with a long life. Do it in the most cost-efficient way possible, designed to save you money. That's with United Tire. Their highly skilled technicians work on all makes and models and work around your busy schedule. When you come in, you'll see the friendly faces that you know and trust. Whether you're planning a spring road trip or just commuting to work, make sure you're driving on tires you can count on. So stop into United Tire to make the most of your spring driving season, or make an appointment today at unitedtire.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
It was the day we all feared. The stock market went down and then kept going.
2008, when the markets lost over 50% of their value. But that was over a decade ago. Today, it's not so painful. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group calls that financial amnesia. When you forget the pain of losing half your savings, and more importantly, ignore the fact that it can happen again. A complimentary consultation from Retire Ready Financial Group can show you where you stand now before the next market pullback. You're much closer to retirement than you were in 2008. Don't let it happen again. Call Jim Cipriotti at 610-894-7415 for a complimentary consultation. That's 610-894-7415 or online at retirereadyfg.com. You can forget where you put your keys, your glasses, or even your car. Don't forget to protect your retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
Calling on Media PA to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
$9:50 Wednesday morning, Kayal Company here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. The Dawn Show coming up at 10. Who on Twitter today? Also on the way. You know, earlier this morning when we had Bruno on and he got caught up on the whole Musk versus Musk thing and talking about smells, I guess my wife was either watching or listening to the show, and she sent me a text, and I'm just seeing this now. She sent this an hour ago, and she says, raspberry flavoring and vanilla flavoring comes from beavers' butts. Do we know that? Is that confirmed?
Wait, what?
Is that factual?
Yeah, sometimes they use it when it says vanilla flavoring.
Yeah.
It's not actually from vanilla, plant.
Yeah.
It's actually
comes
this
from the
gland.
butt of a beaver.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, the more you know.
Well, if you're a vegetarian, if you're vegan, or if that's your religion, it's actually a thing. They have to disclose it.
Okay. So there you go. Raspberry flavoring and vanilla flavoring comes from the butt of a beaver. It's a new spin on Leave It to Beaver, I guess. There you go. All right, 9:51. Let's find out what's on tap for the Dawn Show, which is just about 8 minutes out.
Yeah, so we have a lot developing, a lot breaking. Gun control, a new handgun fingerprinting law that's one step closer to being instated in our area. I'll tell you where and what's going on with the latest vote in the legislature, and this is a local legislature. At 10:30, we have a U.S. military decorated veteran and now Pastor Bill Devlin. So Anthony and I got a text from him. He said he was on his way to Cairo, on his way to help out Sudanese sisters, brothers, and children who have fled from all the fighting. It's another crisis, especially for Americans forced to evacuate during this administration, where we see so many hot spots in the world. And this is Sudanese and Americans fleeing that region. Pastor Bill, well, where is he? In the thick of it. And by the way, one of the last times he was there, he was detained. He was jailed for his work as a Christian individual for trying to help folks. So we'll get an update from Pastor Bill.
Okay, sounds good. 9:53, we find out who won Twitter today.
Who won Twitter?
I've actually never done this. I'm going to give it to two people because it's kind of two comments in a row.
Okay.
Hassan Bin Sober is the first one. He says, us tweeters are now stalkers' redheaded stepchildren.
True.
And then the greater Chris responded to both of them on Twitter by saying, we Twitter people will always be the National League on 1210 of WPHT listeners. Instagram is the American League. YouTube is the USFL. So Hassan Bin Sober and the greater Chris win Twitter today. And by the way, not forgotten, you get your own segment at 9:55 every day.
Yeah.
Like, how can I have forgotten Twitter?
I know.
They get their own segment at 9:55 every morning.
So now we've got big tech wars within the 1210 audience.
Yes.
We've got our tweeters, we've got our Instagrammers, and we've got our YouTube commenters. Sounds like a social media civil war.
Any way you want to reach the show, you can find it.
That is correct. Because as I've said, if you can't get us, you're not trying. Because we're on every platform known to man.
We are.
All right, so that'll do it for us here on this Wednesday morning. Appreciate Tony Bruno. Appreciate all of you guys. Whether you are members of the National League, the American League, or the United States Football League, either way, we appreciate all of it. If you missed anything, Odyssey app, YouTube, the full show will be up shortly. Stay tuned. The Dawn Show is coming up next, and we will be back tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, and we will do it this way.
We'll do it live.